Morning, folks. And yes, Ascended. It is an unexpected stream. I'm just home, so I thought, fuck it, I might as well kick up a wee quick stream here because I wanted to watch a few wee things. So I thought you guys maybe wanted to watch along with me because fuck it, why not? But first, how are we all doing tonight? Hope we're all doing well. We all doing well, yeah? I just realized I didn't set up my stream correctly, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. There's no need to worry. There's no need to worry. But yeah, guys, how are you all doing? You all doing good? You all doing good this Saturday night? I hope you're all out enjoying your Halloweens and stuff like that. All good, guys? Hello, Lulu. How are you doing? So yes, guys, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. So yeah, I guess I ate a little bit of shit tonight. I was going out there with my wee speculation hat on. My speculation was obviously entirely wrong. Your tongue burns. Why does your tongue burn? Did you lick a firework? I'm going to assume you licked a firework. You ate a sparkler or something like that. Hey guys, you're all creeping in. Yeah, usually I try and set these kind of streams down to like low latency, and I forgot, so it's a bit more of a delay than I would really want there to be. But well, guys, we'll make it work. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing, my dude? And glad you like the stuff. Hopefully, you'll continue to find me that way, I guess. Oh, hey, Lulu. Yeah, I didn't know I had that many people in Australia. My analytics are pretty much 50% America, I think, and the majority of the rest is UK, Canada, and Taiwan as well. Weirdly, Taiwan. You scraped it? How did you scrape it? Were you bobbing for apples? I'm just going for all the Halloween tropes here I could possibly get to. But yes, guys, as some of you may have noticed, hello there, Slippin', how are you doing? And yes, Quarter Pounder on the screen. It is relevant, don't worry. I don't usually watch his stuff, but it is relevant. It's an old version of him back here. It is relevant though, don't worry, we'll get to that. But yes, like I said, I ate a wee bit of shit, because I came out with a wee speculation hat on, and I came out to you guys and said, so I'm curious what you guys think. Is Boogie actually at Magic 30? He said he claimed he had all paid for except Ubers and food, estimated $500 was all he needed for the whole trip, and he bought the tickets months ago. He claimed he was using money on whatnot to go. He had 3,000 in about 3 hours in the last 3 weeks. He claimed he cancelled a week ago because he was worried he'd be judged for wasting the money whilst on the trip with the sugar baby. He deletes a tweet saying he wasn't going. He's barely posted anything then. And then he suddenly posted a Halloween picture of himself in a costume. However, it was clearly like an old photograph. Is that the cuckening? Yes, that is the cuckening. I haven't called anyone that in a very, very long time. So, yes. I posted this up, asked you guys what you thought, if you thought maybe he was going to go or going to go. Yes, he has posted a current video. I pinned the comment. I pinned the comment there at the top. He's posted a picture, actually in costume. You guys that voted no, win a prize. My respect. So, yes. Very nice, Strange Coast. Very, very nice. I had a wee bit to drink earlier on, but I am a sober boy pretty much now. Good fry. Good fry. Looking forward to it. You're going to have that out by tomorrow probably then. It could have been filmed before he left. Yep, could have been. It could have been. You never know with Boogie. It could all be like super secret ops, but who knows? I couldn't imagine Boogie would lie to us like that. But yeah, so 134 votes. 37% said he went. 63% said he didn't go. Now, like I said, it seems I was wrong. He posted up a wee video of him in his new costume, all dressed up and everything that for his Halloween party. So who knows? I could have been entirely wrong. Seems weird that he had a Halloween party planned when he was meant to be at Magic 30 this weekend, but who knows, guys? Who knows, guys? But it had got me thinking, because I've been talking. He does know a guy in the FBI. He has special forces buddies who are backing him up and going after those trolls. But it did get me thinking because I was talking with a few people, obviously down in the chat, just about the whole thing in general. And Sarah in particular, Sarah, didn't know that the Boogie had been previously banned from an event, which is something I found out, I don't know how, a while ago. I think he had been ranting about it, like on some podcast. I think it was maybe the No Jumper podcast. Could be wrong there. But he pretty much had come through and said, look, I used to work with Wizards of the Coast. We'd done a charity event and all before. It's still up on his channel, I'm sure, if you go to it. But he had done a charity event, actually, with Magic the Gathering. Let's see if I can find it here. I'll grab it up on the screen for you. But he had done a charity event previously with Magic the Gathering where they had donated X number of boxes and stuff like that. And he decided to do, yeah, there it is there.
Oh, this.
So,
Live again through the power.
This is back a fair wee while ago, 5 years ago, for back 2016, nearly 6 years ago now. He had done a Magic event charity where he got together with Wizard of the Coast and another guy called the Professor, who's apparently a big Magic guy as well. He has a big YouTube account for Magic and stuff like that. So they got together, they hosted a charity event, all well and good. Boogie had a very good relationship with Wizard of the Coast previously. However, suddenly towards the end of 2018, which is after quite a bit of his meltdown, not his full meltdown, but after quite a bit of his meltdown, he suddenly was uninvited from attending a Wizard of the Coast event. It was RPG Sports, I think they were called. And he was meant to be going for this big Dungeons and Dragons tournament thing as a special guest, like first named person on the team. You know, he's a big name for it. And then suddenly, mysteriously, the company deleted the tweet and put it out saying, actually, no, he's not invited. And I have heard bits and pieces of it, but I hadn't heard all of it. So I was just curious about hearing his version of it, because like, we don't know if his version is going to be the true story, but we might as well check it out. I'd previously watched Tipster, did a video on it a while ago, where obviously he's very much on Boogie's side. He kind of covers... I think he's a bit of an anti-SJW type, so he was very unhappy with Wizards of the Coast being very SJW. But here's a tweet that he was showing off, which was the original one. I'll read it out for you. It says, "Welcome, Matt Boogie2988. As the first player of Team Beholder in RPG Sports, Boogie makes incredible gaming content alongside hilarious rants, sketches, and insightful advice. Maybe if you're lucky, Francis will make an appearance as well. Don't miss it." Okay? He hit the organizer, didn't he? That is the speculation, honestly, in the dark web. But suddenly... deleted that tweet and came out with a quick message about our previous announcement. "We want you to know that we take your feedback to heart. Many of you were disappointed in our announcement earlier, and we sincerely apologise. Our goal is to still give competitive gamers a way to feel comfortable trying D&D. We want to make sure that you are comfortable as well. We've recasted and are ensuring that the participants from here on out will make you excited to see them involved. We'll continue to listen to the community and do your best. Thank you for the support." Now, apparently... what happened? Oh yes, JC, you know it, mate. You're up late as well. You can't criticize me. It's a Saturday. I'm allowed to be up late. Yeah, no, I'm not long home, so I had wanted to have a wee look at this anyway because I'm doing some final research for my monthly thing. So I kind of wanted to see about this because I was like, oh, this maybe might play a part in my speculating. So apparently, what happened was when they first announced Boogie was going to attend, there was an outcrying of people unhappy that Boogie was attending, generally from the left side. Because if you guys don't know Wizard of the Coast, the guys who own D&D, Magic the Gathering, all that, very left-leaning. Very, very, very left-leaning. I'd heard Boogie previously talk about them. I can't remember what podcast it was on, but he had previously talked about them where he pretty much stated that he had tried to work with them again, I think before this. And they pretty much told him, no, why would we work with you? You are a straight white man. And we don't need any more straight white men. We only deal with, people of color and people from the LGBT community. Those are the only people we're interested in working with anymore. Could be true, could be not true. I'm not really huge into D&D or Magic the Gathering or anything like that, so I wasn't sure. A couple of my brothers who are like really into those pretty much told me they wouldn't be surprised if the company said that, apparently with how weirdly left an SAW the company is now. So it could be real. But... suddenly, Boogie was uninvited and more unlikely due to SAW backlash. Hey, Oki, how you doing, mate? And the SAW backlash was apparently involved to two things. First, this guy, the quartering. By the way, if anyone has this, I want it somehow. Somehow I want it. Who is the strongest person in Boogie's house? I think Boogie's the only person in his house, so probably him. No way, that's who I believe it. Well, that's the thing. It could be true. It could not be true. Who knows? That's the thing. It's when Boogie's saying it, you aren't sure, And this was after they'd severed ties with them and weren't happy with them. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's trying to shit on them just deliberately to try and mess things up for them because he's really spiteful like that. But yeah, he could be rejected for numerous reasons. Numerous reasons. But apparently, he's barely straight, though. That's the thing. He claimed he was bisexual, and then later on he claimed he was straight. So who knows? Booger now bears Marker Kane is expelled from the Magic community. Exactly that, Chad. Hey, Chad. I hope you're Boogie's Chad and you're just here hanging out now. Yeah, Sammy actually probably has a strong... Well, no, Leo's young and fit. Sammy's old. And don't make me play the Sammy clip. I'm not going to do that tonight. I promise myself I won't do that tonight. But yeah. If anyone has this, I'm really curious. Quartering did a live stream with Andy Worski and Rags and Mr. Medicare. It was about the Wizards of the Coast. There's a paedophile argument that apparently a bunch of judges were found out to be secret paedophiles by the Quartering. Apparently the whole thing was really blown out of proportion. However, what happened was, I think Hasbro overall owns Wizards of the Coast. I think it's that. Because they all then spammed Hasbro. They all were spamming Hasbro online and created the Adam Race Worski meme, which is funny as hell. It led to probably one of my favorite songs by Ken Ashcorp. Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna play. I hope Ken's a dead-on guy and doesn't like the copyright strike me. But it led to one of my favorite jokes, my favorite songs. I will play a wee bit of it here for you guys. Andy Kokski. I prefer Race Worski. It's really funny.
There's a legend that's sung in Rhode Island, told to children with faces aglee, about a hero, an absolute madman, who bombed the shit out of that company. No more Lotus or Power 9 bullshit. Those pedophiles knew it was nigh. That man got on a plane in Toronto, got an AK-4 and prepared to say hi. Adam Worski, axe-wielding maniac. Hasbro, you fuckers, we pray for your soul. Adam Worski, getting away with it. Touch that boy's hole and you'll pay Adam's toll.
Okay, it was a song made up in regards to this whole drama. So Quartering came out with all this information about a couple of different pedophiles he had apparently found who worked as judges in the Magic community. They went on Andy Worski's show back when Andy Worski was the biggest guy in internet blood sports to try and reveal all this information. Medicare unfortunately made a total mockery of it by starting a funny hashtag campaign that went crazy on Twitter with all these people talking about how Andy Worski was actually they accidentally spelled his name Adam Worski, and pretty much they started spamming Hasbro with Adam Worski's coming to bomb your business and stuff like that. And it was just an absolute shit show, but it was quite funny. But the stream has been deleted. I can't find it anymore on YouTube, and I'm genuinely sad about that because the stream is just so funny. Hey Lord, how you doing, my dude? Yeah, so it's really funny. Really, really, really funny. The whole stream is just them trying to be serious at the start. Medicare starts off getting people to start spamming Hasbro, and the rest of it is just them reading funny tweets that were sent to Hasbro, and it's really, really, really funny. Especially because apparently it was all blown out of proportion. Boogie came out really hard against Quartering, saying that he knows a lot of judges, and they're all great, upstanding people. And apparently Quartering could only find 2 or 3 people who actually were pedophiles, but blew it out of proportion because Quartering was upset that because Quartering had been picking on some cosplay chick in the community or something, she decided to stop doing cosplay, and then he got banned from any further events, and then he also got attacked by a dude in a dress at one event or something like that. I don't know. It's mental. I've had a look at the archivist channels. I'm going to have a look at archive.org at some point because it might be on there because some of Andy Worski stuff has been archived there, so have a look. Hey Creepy, thank you very much for the super chat. You're going to react to Boogie interview on the Keem show. Which one? There are actually a couple different ones where he did interviews on the Keem show now, such as the recent one with Jesse. He was on with Grimm's Toy Show where he totally ruined it and threw Grimm under the bus, which was funny. He also did the one about Lucy Fox, and he also did the one about with Frank Castle. He did those ones. Those are the 3 I know off the top of my head. I think I've reacted to the Keemstar Hassel one. I did that on one of my drinking streams at one point. But what was he saying? I've got a bad memory, folks. I've got a bad memory, folks. But if you're talking about the one in the Keemstar show, the recent one with him and Grimm's Toy Show, that I'm covering that in my monthly recap. Yeah, I'm covering that in my monthly recap one. So yes, the whole thing was pretty funny, but because of Boogie's friendship with the Quartering, apparently Boogie got banned from this event. That was one of the reasons. The other reason was his interview. Yeah, creepy. Don't worry, I'll be covering that in my monthly catch-up, which should be out hopefully in the next couple of days. It depends on what Boogie does, because Boogie has this awful habit of, like, on like the last day of the month doing a live stream, and that always pushes me back a wee, because I have to watch the live stream and take notes and see if there's anything I want to fit in and see if it matches up with anything else he said during the month, and then try and merge those all together. So I think Boogie does that deliberately just to mess with me personally. So yeah, the other reason why people were unhappy with Boogie going was because of the whole thing he said on the H3 podcast about pushing back gay marriage by 10, 20 years. So he had said that people weren't happy with that. That's when people really went out hard against him. Thought you're a hermit right now? I'm always a hermit at the chair. But I'm just home. And I was deciding to watch this, so I thought we'd stick it on and we'd chat away a wee bit. Didn't Boogie get banned for his support of Gamergate? That's also part of the many reasons, because a lot of left-leaning people really think he was a big Gamergater, which I don't think he really was a big Gamergater. He was considered by the right as sitting on the fence. On the left, they considered him a Gamergate because he wasn't hardcore on their side. So I think he personally probably was just fence-sitting that one. Probably slightly left-leaning, because that's just how Boogie does it. And that's why, because the right wing wouldn't have said he was fence-sitting if he was on the left side. And the left weren't happy because he wasn't fully on their side, so they considered him as being pro-Gamergate. Yes, I know, Slippin' Jimmy, I had thought that myself, but I didn't want to say it because I thought that would make me sound like I have a big ego. But to be fair, we do know, we are fully aware Boogie watches my content. I know, imagine Oki fence-sitting. Who would have thought? But yeah, I didn't want to say that because I was like, oh, I don't want to sound like an ego, but we do know Boogie does actively watch my content. And if you are watching right now, Boogie, firstly, go and have fun at your Halloween party, for fuck's sake, dude. Isn't Boogie the eternal fence-sitter? He pretends to be. He's not always a fence-sitter. But I think he likes to pretend to be a fence-sitter on a lot of subjects because it, like, shields him from a bit of flack. So I was always curious what the actual breakdown was. So I never watched the Quarterings video of it, and I only just found out that Boogie had done an interview with Review Tech USA where he talks about what happened. So I'm generally curious about it. Has Boogie gone to Magic 30? I don't know. My assumption was, based on everything that led up to this, I thought he was going to go to Magic 30, and he'd come out afterwards and claim, oh, actually I did go because all my fans really wanted me to go. I know you are, Malekith. Don't worry, I've known that for a long time. I'm just trying to be stringing you along, mate. How much do you think we could spend a month on food? I don't know. I really don't know. He's at least smart enough where he doesn't show off his food a lot, so it'd be hard to guess. It's not like Wings of Redemption, who every night on stream has a fucking box of what does he have? Jacobies or something like that? Jacobites? Something like that. I don't know. Probably not the Jacobites. But, yeah, no, I think I really can't be arsed with Quartering at all usually, but I'm just curious because of his take on this whole thing. Like, Quartering's takes are ridiculous. Like, I saw his most recent video that came out was, like, white people have been banned from seeing... Shut up. White people have been banned from seeing... Has he deleted it? Oh, no, fuck, he just uploads... Oh, my God, he uploads so much. Why does he upload so much? Jesus. But yeah, this white people banned from Black Panther. Like, I haven't watched it because I don't watch his content. Jack in the Box might be. I'm not sure. But he says white people banned. If it's what I think it is for the video, there's like some person saying, "Oh, thank you very much for the donation, creepy. How you doing it?" They react to the I need your help video where we post it, and they confront him himself, who says he'll go to his house. Oh, in the most recent interview. Yes, I can't remember it off the top of my head because I watched it when it first came out, so I can't remember it all off the top of my head. I have my detailed notes of it, which is usually how I deal with this, is I watch things as they happen and I take detailed notes as I go, so I can just read the notes afterwards and then be like, oh, okay. Yes, he has a lot of support. To be fair, Quartering is generally pretty well off, but this video, if it's the one I think of, it is literally just some crazy left-wing lady saying, like, white people shouldn't go to the see Black Panther for the first couple of days and just let black people go so we feel more comfortable in sitting there watching it so we aren't scared because white people are around. It's stupid. It's a stupid opinion and everything like that. But it's just him being clickbaity saying white people got banned. And then some random person on TikTok asked told white people they shouldn't go. Like, I don't think she has the power to ban anyone from anything. But yeah, I've just been really interested in this whole thing because, Like, Billy the Fridge is someone who I never really saw interact with Boogie that much, especially not on Twitter or anything like that. But, like, holy actual shit. Billy the Fridge and some guy called Barnacles have been going crazy in Boogie's mentions. Like, literally arguing with nobodies, like, absolute randos, for a week straight. Like, unironically, a full week straight, they have just been arguing with randos for literally no apparent reason. Just back and forth, like, constantly, for days on end. And of course, like, the Barnacles guy is just like a standard, like, weirdo loser guy. He has, like, I think 800,000. I think he has like 800,000 subscribers as well, or something like that. And he gets like, and I always have to tread carefully when I talk about this because I don't want people to think I have a big head. He gets less views than me, and he has like 800,000 subscribers. Okay, so he's that kind of like loser, you know. No wonder he's like super tight with Boogie, because he's like that guy who's been around for ages, is like a fat middle-aged guy, and he's just like depressed his life, and he just randomly goes off. Yes, you did make it. How you doing, Mama? What are we talking about today? We're just talking about just random stuff to do with Boogie and Magic the Gathering, just because I thought it was relevant due to my recent community post. And Billy the Fridge, I had never watched Billy the Fridge's content. However, once again, he is a guy who gets like, he has like 90,000 subs and also gets viewer figures than me, which I think is bizarre. Yeah, that's the thing. People really treat Marvel movies like they're like a cultural icon nowadays, which is bizarre. Like, they used to be fun. They used to be fun movies, and then we got too many of them. Like, we got a million of them, and the writing quality went down and all. Alright, Malekith, mate, how you doing? Why did I say how you doing? Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Fuck, I am tired tonight. But I decided I'd watch Billy the Fridge and just see what it's like, because I immediately saw a thumbnail, and it's literally just him sitting here with like a youngish, like, good-looking, like, kind of titty streamer from Twitch. So I thought, okay, I wonder why Boogie's friends with this guy who like has like a young girl sitting there just randomly whilst he's doing live streams, and it's just
her from the movie Milk Money.
They're so boring.
But I hope she's okay. But somebody messaged me today and said she's actually also famously known.
Like, what is this?
One of the few actresses to show her butthole in classic cinema. The movie Psycho.
We also lost Olivia Newton-John.
Like, what is this?
And Nicola, I think her name is.
Like, this is the content he puts out. It is just him sitting there eating food because he's eating a salad to pretend that he's losing weight, like all of them do apparently. Sitting there with some like young girl, and they just mumble. And I've watched near 18 minutes of this in disbelief. And I think this is what spurred me to be like, I need to just put on a chat and chat with people because I am so bored watching this shit. Billy Fridge gains some weight back. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know anything about him. I never really dealt with him before. It was when I was looking through his content, I saw, okay, he used to do stuff with McJuggernuggets and Boogie and stuff like that. Was he Drunken Peasants? Was he friends with Amazing Atheist? I think. Was he? I think he is. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been a fan of Marvel movies for probably Endgame. Endgame came out, I was like, that seems like a good bow on the series. It's just finished there. It wasn't the best ending, but there were bits and pieces of it I really liked. But once you introduce like time travel and stuff like that, and alternate dimensions, you have totally ruined your entire narcolepsy in video format, 100%. Like, once you introduce like time travel and all into your superhero series, it's like, well, what's the point of any of it? Yeah, it's like, we have the Infinity Stones, we can do anything with them. It's like, okay, then why don't you? why don't you? Why don't you just bring people back to life and stuff like that? So I was like, no, don't care anymore. I'm done. So yeah, this is just boring, but immediately it's like, okay, well, this is why Boogie's friends with this guy. But this guy is seriously sitting there at Magic 30. Like, we don't know if Boogie is there, but Billy is literally there at Magic 30 arguing with randos on Twitter. And my favorite bit was there was a huge chain of him and this Barnacles guy all just arguing with some random guy, literally going back, you know, like the kind of shit, you know, like an absolute loser would do, literally going back through this guy's like tweet history and trying to find things to like insult him for. And I was like, dudes, you guys have like hundreds of thousands of followers. This is loser level content. This is like a thing like a zero follower person should be doing. Is going back through someone's tweet history to try and find something to slobber at them for. It's bizarre to me. It's absolutely so weird to me. And of course, then the guy just drops the clip of Boogie gloating. I will show the clip. I will show the clip here because I showed it last night, but I'll show it here again for you, just in case anyone didn't see it. So this is a clip Boogie uploaded in the 21st of March this year.
It's not just amazing that you are wrong in this comment, but you are wrong several times in one small comment. And it's so wrong, in fact, it actually made me laugh out loud. Me and my wife separated mutually. She went on to find somebody else, but I also went on to find somebody else, right?
Sugar
That's
babies.
how relationships end. When you're unhappy, you find someone else that will make you happy. Sure, I fell off, but I was relevant for 14 years. And I'm still making 5 figures a month right now off of doing this. I get paid on the TikTok Creator Fund. I get paid from YouTube. I get paid from Twitter.
So 7 months ago, Boogie was making 5 figures per month. 5 figures per month, but he needed to do a begging video. That's why, like I said, I've always said his begging video wasn't for money. He's fine enough with money. Like, he does make a decent amount. No dog slap. I told myself to be good tonight. I'm not doing that again. But yeah, so like clearly this is a lie. Like, he doesn't make 5 figures a month. Like, he doesn't have nearly enough views. Like, he doesn't have nearly enough views. Okay, like, at all. So, like, even when we saw like his "How much dollars you give me" video, Boogie goes broke weeks later. Yeah, well, he didn't go broke. He just was upset that he dropped under 1 million views the first time. He's just crying for attention. So yeah, it's just someone dropped that clip to Billy the Fridge and this Barnacules guy. Boop. Conversation ended. That was the conversation done. They had literally no fucking comeback. Some rando just blew Billy the Fridge and this Barnacules guy, hundreds of thousands of followers. They blew them out of the water by dropping a single clip of Boogie gloating about the money, because they were sitting arguing like, "Oh my god, Boogie's just such a nice guy. He really needs the money. He wouldn't be asking for the money if he didn't need it, guys." So then you just drop it off. Yeah, 5 figures in 2 decimal places, closer. But yesterday I did the maths. Yesterday I did the maths, and based on how much he's getting, he should be getting between $2,500 and $3,000 per month. Just on his YouTube. Just on YouTube, on, like, ad revenue. Not including premium, which for his channel is pretty small, to be fair. Like, I've earned more in premium than he did on that video, which is bizarre to me. So clearly a lot of his fans don't have premium. His sponsorship deals, like, every time he sells a computer, he should be getting a couple $100. He has NordVPN, which weirdly he doesn't advertise, even though, he's pretending to be desperate for money, but he doesn't advertise NordVPN, which is one of his sponsors. I think it's his only other sponsor apart from Meta PCs, and he makes money off channel memberships. He makes money off Twitch. He has a Patreon. He makes money off Patreon. So, like, there's no way. Boogie doesn't need money. Boogie's just upset that his view count dropped under 1 million, so he's begging for views. That's it. That's all Boogie is begging for. So yes, I was just curious what caused him to get banned. So let's go. What have we watched? Would we like to hear, put it in chat, would we like to hear Quartering's version of events first, or do we want to hear Boogie's version of events first on his interview? It does depend on what type of videos you make. However, Boogie's begging video, I don't imagine it would have had a decent CPM, to be fair. Like, his Francis videos, like some of his videos are quite short, but a lot of his videos wouldn't do anything negative to lower the amount of ad revenue they get. Like, a lot of his videos are generally quite safe. Like, his drama ones potentially so. Alright, Mama, enjoy your Fortnite match. A lot of his drama ones potentially, Boogie, okay. So a lot of his drama ones might get a lower amount, but my drama ones don't. Like, my drama ones don't. They get a decent CPM, According to you to sleep, yeah. I just don't know memes. I just don't know, because his begging one got like a lot, and if you're putting things on like help and all, I just think that really should. I think I wouldn't have got a decent amount, but still, like, it should be between 2,500 and 3,000, even if it was a lower CPM, $2,000 per month, which is not bad. But science get a high CPM. I can imagine teaching videos and stuff like that probably would get a relatively high CPM. But yeah, we'll jump into this. I've never seen this before. This Boogie goes on Review Tech USA to discuss his whole debacle. It came out 23rd of October, which I think is about the same time Is this? It was the day after Quartering came out and mentioned it. I had a wee look. I couldn't find any tweets for it. It didn't really look overly hard, to be fair, so I'm not sure the exact date. But we'll see. We'll see. See, that's the weird thing, memes. Mine get... Because I put drama in the tag for mine, and I make a decent amount. Like, I make more than I thought I was going to make, you know? So, I don't know how it all works, if I'm being honest with you still. Hey, Spicy, how you doing, mate?
Was being brought to you by Cutting Edge Gamer. If you upgrade graphics cards often, Cutting Edge Gamer is the perfect...
Oh, no.
A very special guest with me, who is now thinner than me.
Oh wow, that's saying something.
Yeah, I haven't brought that up before. Yeah, I'm the fat ass here in this conversation.
I'm clocking
today.
in at 349, man. So you got to get down to at least where I am, because this is no achievement. I've still got 100 more to go before I'm happy. So.
Well, dude, with how big you used to be, it is a freaking achievement. Are you kidding me?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But I am now on with Boogie2988, who I have been following since before I even think I made videos on YouTube.
And I hope you know I'm a big fan. I watch your content pretty regularly. I wish we were talking under happier circumstances, but...
This is so weird to hear, because like he was so anti-Review Tech USA for a long time, until like Review Tech backed him up about the Frank Hassel situation, and he came out being like, my biggest critic loves me and's on my side about this, so I must be right.
Today's a bit of a frustrating day for me. Thank you for letting me talk about my side of things.
Dude, that's the reason. I saw the Quartering's video on what happened, and he went to bat for you. And it made my blood boil, because I have literally been in an identical situation a few times, and it needs to stop. And these conventions and sponsors, and they can't give in to the vocal minority. But now I'm going to let you. I apologize, guys. I'm just doing game.
They recorded this in a video game. No, this was back. Well, this wasn't even back during old YouTube, when people did like drama content over video games. Like 2018 was even late for that, wasn't it?
I'm just doing gameplay right now, and because
I like your voiceover videos more anyway. I do like it when you do gameplay, honestly, because it gives me something else to look at. Otherwise, I'm looking at my phone when you're doing video. I know it's controversial to say that. I love both of your videos, but I think sometimes I like the gameplay more, because I'm just looking at my phone most of the video anyway.
Oh, he is going so hard to win him over. He's going so hard to win him over.
Like a podcast.
Who's more plump, Boogie or Wings? Wings has gained way more weight than Boogie. Wings is a lot heavier than Boogie nowadays.
So weird, and I'll say it because I said it in another video before. I'll say it in 10 seconds. I did the whole thing. I tried to go all out got a guy who does filmmaking for a living, and the same amount of people watch, and my channel grew the same rate. But
I loved it when you were unboxing in that setup and stuff like that. That's what I love, is when you do like product reviews in those setups. Okay, anyway,
yes.
So Wizards of the Coast is one of my favorite companies in the world. I love that company. I've been playing their games since 1994. I have bought everything Richard Garfield has invented. I spend probably $10,000 to $15,000 on Magic cards a year. Now that I've got some YouTube money, and even before that, when I was on disability, earning $6,000 a year to survive, $7,000 a year to survive, I was still playing Magic. I was obsessed with that game. And
I don't think that's a great flex, to be fair. How much does Wings weigh? I have no idea how much Wings weighs. I don't think he really talks about his weight openly too much. Is it 450? The last time I remember him getting weighed was back when he was in the Lion's Den, and he's trying to get his PSN back, wasn't it? And he claimed about 450, I think, yeah.
I worked with Wizards of the Coast directly before. A couple years back, if you go to my channel, there's a video where they paid me they were offered like $5,000 to create a video and let me do whatever I wanted to do. So I did a charity stream. I decided to do a local free tournament. I invited people of every color, every shape, every size, every sexual orientation to my local tournament to play for free. We had some 180 people, I think, if I remember the numbers correctly.
He's really going ham with trying to like win this over.
Don't quote me on that, but it's over 100. And I interviewed a bunch of different people, and we raised $12,000 for St. Jude's. By the time it was all done, they paid me $5,000 to do that. I used that $5,000 to turn it into $12,000 and kept nothing for myself. And so 2 years later, I reach out to Wizards of the Coast, and I'm like, Wizards, I love you guys, and I want to help promote MTG Arena. Will you work with me? And they send me this letter. I'm not going to say from who, and I'm not going to say specifically what it said, but it basically informed me, because I've been supportive of Unsleeved Media in the past, not even that I'm supportive of everything he does, or that I have just been supportive of him in the past. They would no longer want to work with me moving forward. They said I fancied myself as some sort of go-between.
Aye, to be fair, Creepy, you are 100% right. He definitely has to. I was really surprised, because like, I think it was like the first time I'd seen him stand up recently, because I do watch his gameplay in the background, because I actually don't mind watching gameplay, and Rainbow Six is one I'm interested in getting into, so I just watch his stuff in the background. Also, his occasional rage, of course, is pretty funny, but I was surprised when I saw him stand up, because he was like, oh, I have to poop, and he got up, and he was insanely massive. He was insanely massive, like shockingly so. Like, it seems like he has exploded in weight, at least recently. Like, I know he's back on the surgery. He's not back on the surgery, back on the diet and all again recently. He's trying to do some form of kind of like keto thing.
Which I do. I consider myself a bit of a moderate, even though I lean fairly left, but I consider myself a bit of a moderate leftist. And I always try to give my conservative friends or conservative fans a chance to speak, a chance to be heard, to feel whatever they say, whatever they want to do. And I guess it's upsetting for that company. So,
do you though, Boogie? Like, especially nowadays, that just seems so odd the way he's saying that. Like, you know, because it's just like, oh, I always try and give conservatives and all a chance to speak. You know, well, you see him on his on Twitter nowadays, and if anyone says anything negative, he's like, oh, bet you're a MAGA Republican. Bet you're the reason this country's gone to shit. I was like, okay,
that's where this D&D sports thing. I had a friend reach out to me and says, we're putting together this D&D sports things. It's for charity. I know you love charity. Will you be on my team? And I said, I don't think I can because Wizards of the Coast hates me. And they don't want to work with me anymore. And as soon as they find out I'm attached to it, they're going to shut the whole thing down.
See, that letter he's talking about the Unslaved Media thing, that's the one he talked about in whatever podcast it was. I think it was the No Jumper podcast. I'm not 100% sure, but it might have been one of his appearances on H3H3. I don't remember. It's been a very long time. That was one of the videos I watched months ago. But that's when he talked about the whole, like, oh, they won't hire me because I'm a straight white man and they don't want to work with straight white men anymore. So he's telling the story a wee bit differently here, probably because he's still trying to be a wee bit PC. Probably because he also knows that all the backlash he's getting is from the left. So he's trying to, like, play, look how nice I am, to the left because he's trying to win them back over again.
And she says, I don't think that's the case. I will ask Wizards of the Coast. Let me talk to them for you. And I said, fine, but they're going to say no. So she gets back and she says, I talked to somebody at D&D Beyond and they said fine. I said, not D&D Beyond. You got to go straight to Wizards of the Coast. You got to go all the way to the top and find out that for sure I'm okay with that company because I've been told by somebody at Magic that I'm not. And I want to find out for sure. And if you get that okay, I will do whatever you want me to do. But until we get that okay, I can't commit. And then the next thing I know, they've announced me for a thing I haven't even committed to yet. I haven't even said I'm going to do it.
I heard that. It's so ridiculous.
It's so frustrating because my friend had made 100% sure that they knew I was down as a maybe. I'm down as a maybe. I'm down as a maybe. Until we get Wizards of the Coast to sign on, until everybody's okay. I don't want to rocky boats here. I don't want to upset Wizards of the Coast.
I just, maybe it's just me. Like, I understand sometimes I'm just, like, kind of feel, like, crazy about this. But maybe it's just me, but because it's Boogie saying it and being like, I hadn't even agreed to sign on. Guys, I hadn't even agreed, you know? But for some reason, they decided to put me on anyway. It's just like, I just feel like this is Boogie trying to be like, I wasn't banned or uninvited. I wasn't even going anyway. You know, it kind of feels like that. He doesn't want to be the one who got told not to go. He'd rather just say, well, I wasn't, I didn't even say I was going and they told me I couldn't go. So, you know, so he's not the one, like, losing out with, like, egg on his face. That's just my immediate assumption for Boogie. It's kind of like the whole Keemstar thing on the Keemstar show recently, when they actually had Jesse and Emily Saxon and Kid Behind the Camera and all on. Boogie was on Twitter randomly going like, I don't even want to be invited on the show. And it's just like, no one asked. No one wanted you on the show. You weren't invited. None of the people in the show mentioned you going on. So why are you sitting going like, oh, I don't even want to go on? It's like, well, okay, good. Because Keem wasn't inviting you, so tough titties.
I want to get back into favor with Wizards of the Coast. It's one of my favorite companies. They produce my favorite game. Of course, I want that company to like me, but obviously they're not going to, and that's fine. And so they announced me, and then
that's a solid argument, guys. Okay, that's a solid argument. I'm just curious, guys. If, like, imagine your favorite company was BioWare. Let's go BioWare. Let's just pick a random one. BioWare. You guys love BioWare. You've worked with BioWare before. You're a content creator or something like that, and you really like BioWare. And then BioWare comes out and goes like, see that guy over there? He's basically a Nazi who hates homosexuals. We are never working with him again. He is banned from all of our events to come. Would you then keep making videos on Mass Effect? It's so weird that Boogie has been banned from, like, Wizards of the Coast events. They say they don't want to work with him because they think he's, like, anti-LGBT. But, like, half his live streams are him unboxing Magic the Gathering cards and talking about how much he likes Magic the Gathering. And then he tries to become a Magic the Gathering YouTuber before this Magic 30 comes out. And that was one of the things I was saying I was putting forwards. Back when he first announced it, I was just like, is he actually going? It's back when he first announced that he wasn't going. And I was like, is this a ploy? Is he still going to go? Is he just saying this to be, like, modest? So if, like, one person in his chat says, no, Boogie, we want you to go, he'll be like, okay, guys, I'll go because you all want me to go. Or if this was a thing that, isn't he banned? Because I had in my head, it's like, isn't he banned from Wizards of the Coast events? So why would he be allowed into Magic 30? Especially to make content and stuff like that. Yeah, like, I get he's not, like, a guest or of honor or anything like that. But I just can't imagine they'd even really want him in the building if they think he's, like, anti-LGBT. He's going to make everyone feel unsafe. Especially because he's gone considerably more downhill now than he was back then. So, in my head, I always was wondering, can he even go to Magic 30? Is he allowed to go to Magic 30?
than 24 hours later, they pull me because of backlash, which is fine. I get it. I can be controversial because I'm fairly moderate, because I only lean so far left. I get it. I understand that.
That doesn't make any sense. I can be fairly controversial because I am moderate. That's like an oxymoron. I am controversial because I'm so not controversial, guys, I guess. Check Twitter. Is he tweeting about me? What's he doing? What's Boogie doing? Is it my Twitter or Boogie's Twitter? I'm going to check Boogie's Twitter. He hasn't posted anything new. Is it my Twitter or Boogie's Twitter you're talking about? Burp. Boogie has not posted anything new. At least nothing new that I'm aware of. Like, the last thing he posted was him in the Halloween costume, showing that he potentially is actually still at home. And I had just totally misunderstood the entire situation, and I'm dumb. No, nothing. See, nothing new. You sent me something? Oh, okay. I shall check. Dip. The last thing you sent me was the thing from last night for Foodie Beauty. I haven't got anything new from you, dude. Unusual. Huh. Maybe I'll just take a minute to come through. We'll continue on with this. I tried to get in Cristiano's Law Coin, but it's just so sad. It is a wee bit sad. Spicy Punk Rock, did he post and delete? Which one are you talking about? Him not going to Magic 30 anymore? Because he originally had posted that, like, it was like last weekend when he was at Retropalooza, he posted that he's not going to go because he felt bad because he had asked for money. So he posted that I'm actually not going to go to Magic 30 because I don't want people mocking the generous people who give me money because they're going to say, because the evil trolls are going to say I'm just wasting money by going on this holiday. And he clearly just wanted people to pat his ass. But then he deleted those tweets. And those are the tweets that Billy the Fridge and the Barnacles guy are still fighting randos on. So clearly, in my head, I was just like, okay, clearly Boogie's not actually going, you know? But clearly Boogie is actually going because he's deleted those tweets, so he plans to go. But I guess not. I guess not, you know? That's beautiful, Fry Guy. That's beautiful, Fry Guy. Every once in a while, I get random pictures from Fry Guy about how he's living his best life. Do you want me to show this on screen, Fry Guy? So yes, those original tweets have been deleted. I'm pretty sure I have them archived because I archive a lot of things. So I'm pretty sure I have them archived and I'm going to be talking about them. I also got his archived one about his Kanye West thing where he said Kanye West is getting people killed, and then people called out they know he's not, so he deleted the tweets. We'll go back to this.
But it's so frustrating to me that the announcement...
Yeah, okay. No problem, Fry. Fry Guy is having a great old time watching Boogie drinking Mountain Dew, clearly. I'm assuming this is for your tier list, isn't it? Yeah? I'm assuming that's you enjoying your tier list, yeah?
When I hadn't fully committed. And then it also frustrates me because it's a charity thing. Who is this benefiting? What was I going to do, Rich? Was I going to say controversial stuff? I'm going to say stuff like, I cast magic missile at the darkness, even though I don't think we should engage with Nazis on their violent level. Like, what am I going to say are wrong? What kind of wrong thing was I going to do during the Dungeons & Dragons charity stream? I don't understand.
Now, besides the correlation that you had, I know Jeremy from the Quartering. That's how I know him. They were using what you said in the H3 podcast against you, I heard too?
So again, this summer, I said something that I have now been educated. I think was a stupid thing to say. I've always been a big fan of slowly, methodically changing minds because I don't like when gay people get killed. I don't like when somebody gets murdered for being gay. So let's not rile up the fucking crazies, okay? Let's just go slow and easy.
Okay, Rich, you're being disingenuous there. You're not playing the whole clip. Whilst I agree that clip isn't the worst thing Boogie's ever said, and it is Boogie probably just being a bit dumb in how he was wording it, Rich is also being disingenuous by only playing that part of the clip, because that is the second half of what he said. The first part is where he's like, you know, like, I support gay marriage, but, you know, maybe we should hold off 20 years, 10 years, because we don't want to rile up the crazies, because, that could get gay people killed. So he's only playing the second part to try and make it seem lesser, because the first part is the bad sounding bit. The second part is the more rational sounding bit. So Rich is being very disingenuous there by only playing that part of the clip.
meant well with what I said, but I said that I felt the way that we pushed through equal marriage rights was equality, marriage equality was had a negative impact because it was getting people killed. Now, people in the community have since educated me and said, "Boogie, we're getting killed anyway. Isn't it cool that we can at least get married?" And once that was pointed out to me, I was like, "Sure." And I said in the system, you should try to work the system. People pointed out to me, "Well, Harvey Milk tried to work the system and he got shot, Boogie. So that doesn't work." And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It was a stupid thing to say. I've since recanted. I've since apologized. I've since been educated. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I said one wrong thing on a podcast that had 30,000 people listening that I knew millions of people were going to see a video podcast of, and I was so confused and so anxious. I wasn't thinking before I spoke, and I said one stupid thing.
I was so confused and so anxious. Stop. Why were you confused and anxious? You're a 4 million subscriber YouTuber. It's like, I was so confused and anxious because I knew there'd be lots of people watching this. It's like, yeah, Boogie, it's almost like you're a professional YouTuber who appears on stage in front of tens of thousands of people. Like, this is my point with Boogie. You always, like, imagine you sit down and you have 30 paths in front of you. And you're like, I want to go to the next city over, but shit, there are 30 paths in front of me. And weirdly, only one of them is on fire. Let's walk down the one that's on fire and see what's up. That's what Boogie does. Boogie doesn't pick the other fucking, I don't even know, 29 paths that make sense, that all have like shining, glistening, golden roads. Boogie always picks the one that is like on fire with like dragons in it. Because he just can't seem to pick like a normal answer. If he just said, look, I misspoke. I'm an idiot, okay? You know, the kind of stuff he does nowadays where he's like, look, I'm dumb, dumb. You know. If he just came out and said, look, I was so stupid. That was such a stupid thing for me to say. I totally misworded. I didn't actually mean it like that. You know, like some people understood that I didn't mean the second part. Yeah, the first part, so stupid. I am such a fucking idiot, guys. I'm so sorry. I sound like such a fucking dickhead. Instead of doing any of that, he has to be like, well, guys, see, I had anxiety because I knew people would watch the stream. I was like, if you were like some random guy on the street getting interviewed, I would understand that. I would understand that if there's a random homeless guy on the street, got a microphone stuck in his face, it's like, what do you think about gay marriage? And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then everyone shit on him for that. He'd be like, I had no idea what the fuck to say. Someone just came up to me and stuck a microphone in my face and started asking me hard questions. I was fucking confused. That would make sense. Boogie's a professional YouTuber claiming he was confused because he was on a podcast and he knew lots of people would watch it. You're a 4 million subscriber YouTuber. This is like a day in the office. It's like if some guy in Subway walked in and someone's like, hi, can I have an Italian BMT? And he's like, oh, and just stuck his dick in the bread. I was like, I was confused. I didn't know what he wanted. It's like, this is the least likely of all the options. I don't know why he picks it, because it's the least likely and it makes him sound stupid. And then, of course, this is where we get to.
And it's going to haunt me until I'm dead. And that's fine. That's fine. But again,
and even that, me saying that, it's going to haunt me till I'm dead. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop acting like this is like ruined your life and you just saying that has like totally demolished you and you're so sad about it. Here you go, everyone. Here's a little hint at Fry Guy's newest video. Here's a hint at Fry Guy's newest thumbnail. He has my Photoshop skills with the wee indent on his hair there. I like that. That's kind of cropping out I would do in my videos. Oh, it's looking good. Can't wait, actually. Mugshots.com. Mugshots.com. That's great. Well, yeah, that's the thing, Mama. Most people would pause to give like an intelligent response, you know? But instead, no, we have Boogie claiming that he was anxious because he was so unused to having an audience as a professional YouTuber. What?
Focus on is, I don't understand. I wonder if the D&D Sports guys knew I was not fully committed, knew that they were going to pull me. I almost wonder if someone there decided to announce me knowing they were going to pull me 24 hours later.
Why would someone troll? Is he claiming someone would troll him? Is he claiming someone was trolling him at that event by pretending he was there? Just be like, psych, he's not, lol.
It's a publicity stunt or something. Because that's what it feels like to me at this point. It seems like some level.
Don't worry about it, Fry Guy. I'm just messing with you. Is that coming out tomorrow then, or is that coming out tonight? Because I'm probably going to bed after this. So
I don't even like to use the phrase, but I guess this would be one of the rare instances it applies. But virtue signaling or whatever that's called, I don't really even.
Fuck, I think I'm trying to remember because I'm pretty sure Boogie has commented on that, okay, and I'm pretty sure that he did pretty much say he regrets not shooting Frank because it would have been better for him, which also shows he doesn't understand the situation whatsoever, because I don't actually think it would have been better for him. Because if he did shoot Frank, people would have been like, okay, well, it's premeditated murder because you told him if he showed up to your house you were going to kill him, and then he showed up unarmed and you walked outside and approached him and then shot him. So I think Boogie would have been in a lot more trouble. I think Boogie would have been in a lot more trouble if he had actually done that. The chair, am I sure about the Boogie thing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he said he regrets not shooting Frank. It's going to be in one of my saved tweets, but my tweets aren't all labeled very well, so it'd be hard for me to quickly search off the top of my head. But I am pretty damn sure he said that. That makes sense, Fry Guy. I understand. Get the crypto hitman after me. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Boogie said that, and he would not have come out better from that situation. He would not have come out better from that situation, because if you tell someone, come to my house, I'm going to kill you, and they come to your house and you kill them, you can't be like, well, I told him if he came to my house I'd kill him. It's like, that's not how the world works. That really isn't how the world works. Because I can't say to the postman, if you come and deliver a meal at my house tomorrow, I'm going to fucking kill you, and he does, and I kill him. I can't be like, whoop, not my fault. So whilst shooting the warning shot is dumb, because if you are shooting, you should be shooting to kill, you also have to be able to justify killing. Boogie claiming, oh, well, Frank Hassel was trying to break my front door down, and that's why I was scared for my life. It's like, well, no, he knocked on your front door, and he backed up. He wasn't ramming the door down, he didn't kick the door down or anything like that. He knocked the door. Boogie has claimed saying, like, I should have waited till he broke a piece of glass, and then that would have let me shoot him. I was like, nope, still not. Stand your ground still doesn't cover that. Stand your ground still doesn't cover that, especially if you invited the person there. Stand your ground does not cover that. They have to actually be like inside your property or coming inside your property. It's like he said, like, oh, if the glass got chipped, I could have shot him. I was like, nope, no, you couldn't have. You just couldn't have.
Understand what that's called, but it seems like they were like, hey, look at how progressive we're going to be, you should watch us. And the worst part about it is I do know, I did look at the tweets, I did look at the clapback, and some of the people that were involved certainly are just true LGBTQ allies who were very concerned that I'm problematic, and I get that, I understand that. But there are also a few regulars, people who I don't even think are that committed to LGBTQ stuff. They were just there to try to take something away from me. Just like, I didn't even commit to it anyway.
Okay, like I have to admit, I could buy that. Okay, if Boogie's making the claim, I actually could buy that. That there are probably some trolls who just don't like Boogie. He would just shot to be, act like they're morally upset by the thing just to try and stir the pot. I do believe that is something that could happen, but still.
Even commit to it anyway, so they didn't take anything away from me. But that was their goal, and they were successful.
See, I was right. Let's replay that instant replay.
I didn't even commit to it anyway. I didn't even commit to stuff. They were just there to try to take something away from me. Which is fine, because I didn't even commit to it anyway. So they didn't take anything away from me. But that was...
See, I told you, I fucking guessed it, that Boogie was doing this whole thing. So you'd be like, huh, well, I wasn't even going anyway, guys. Well, I wasn't even going. I hadn't even said I was going, so I wasn't banned because I wasn't even going. I fucking called it. I'm so good at this. We're going to ignore this. I'm so good at everything else. Stand your ground laws don't cover it, but what about struggle to stand your ground laws? Okay, that's very cruel.
Their goal, and they were successful.
I have had people, because there was, which I used to be stupidly engaged more with trolls, trying to be a sport, which was the dumbest thing you could possibly do when it comes to trolling.
It's a good thing Boogie never does that after this event.
I was on a live stream one time and lost it with one of my trolls, and I used a homophobic slur against them. And the delicious irony is that because now they took that snippet from the Periscope stream, and every time I try, if I get a sponsor, probably within 24 hours I will get an email from the sponsor saying, "Hey, Rich, what's up with this live stream clip?" The irony of it is that the person who...
How do you... This is kind of like the PewDiePie N-word thing. It's like, how do you accidentally use a homophobic slur against someone that you're like... Because, like... If you're just arguing with someone in chat, like I get it a tiny bit more. If it's someone you're arguing with verbally, like both you're screaming at each other, you might get so heated, something bad comes out that you don't intend. I get that. But when you're arguing with someone in chat, like in text form, I find it so weird that you randomly start screaming like an actual slur at them. It just seems that seems like a real escalation.
sends that clip out, or one of them, I should say, who used to have a Twitter account. On their Twitter account, there would be like Nazi imagery. They don't care about that. My point being is that they don't care about the LGBTQ community. They're doing it to cut people down, and it drives me insane.
And there are plenty of people out there who do genuinely are genuinely good, righteous people. You know what? If you're a genuinely good, righteous person and you're doing the genuine good thing, you got my support to that extent, right? Sometimes I don't agree with how we do that. Sometimes I don't necessarily agree that the toxic manner that people do try to do that is correct, but
there's nothing I like more that Boogie has somehow spun this whole thing about the LGBT community not being happy with Boogie's, negative opinions and bad opinions and stuff like that. And he has somehow spun that into, nah, it really wasn't the LGBT. And if it was, it's totally fine and understandable, and I'm totally okay with that. It was probably evil right-wing Nazi trolls. How did you manage to spin that so effortlessly, Boogie? That's why I say you're a manipulator. You spun that really easily.
The reason I feel that way is because there's so many disingenuous people out there. We saw that during Gamergate. We saw that during all of these other controversies. We're going to see it moving forward every day till the end of time.
TJ, I don't know. I don't like to give myself... I don't really like to give myself that much credit because I am a literal fucking nobody with 1,000 subs who gets a couple thousand, views per video. I don't like to give myself that much credit. I'm not big and I'm not important, I'm not really that important. But could it be? Possibly. I already was thinking about, in my monthly recap, when I cover Boogie mentioning me twice this month. On 2 out of his 3 live streams, Boogie mentions me. Once by name, and then goes off in a 7-minute rant about how happy he is and how he doesn't like trolls or care about trolls anymore. And then the other time where he does the whole, there's this guy who, watches my streams, ha ha ha. So, yeah, Limerick, how are you? No, you don't want to give yourself that kind of... that petty. That's the thing, TJ. I think he probably is that petty. And I was going to say, in my monthly recap, it was going to be directed at Boogie. To just say, I was going to cover the 2 mentions off me. I'm not sure if everyone saw it, so I'll play the second mention off me here, because I don't know if everyone saw it. It's someone mentions me in a in chat, and he instantly zones in on it.
Hope it was worth your money, pal.
Here I am.
Irishman gonna have fun with the stream. I don't know who that is, but I hope they do. Boogie, did that hurt your jaw? No.
So after this, he then goes into basically a 7-minute. Very good, Limericks. I hope you enjoy yourself. I'm not drinking tonight. I am out. Despite it being nearly 2 a.m., I'm out early tomorrow morning because I have a bunch of things today. So no drinking for me tonight. He basically goes into a 7-minute rant about how he's so happy in his life and he doesn't care about trolls. And he specifically goes, I don't care about any troll, any Kiwi farmer, because Boogie's on Kiwi Farm, so he's fully aware that I have an account there because I occasionally post in his thread. So he's fully aware of that because on the thread, people will specifically mention my videos or message me on the thread to talk about Boogie talking about me and stuff like that. So Boogie is well aware of me through that. Also because I totally called him out the day before. With the whole Jesse McJuggernuggets drama thing. His evidence that he gave to Keemstar, I got the URL because Keemstar hadn't done full screen. So along the top of the page, you could still see the URL for his unlisted video. So I went and downloaded it and posted the link in Kiwi Farms thread and said, just so you know, guys, here's his evidence. And fucking super quickly afterwards. Do you think Boogie's trying to dox you? I can imagine so, yeah. He tried to dox Chris. Well, we believe he tried to dox Christopher Tom. I can imagine he would try and dox me if he could. Whatever. But, I posted up, this is the link, and super quickly, I think it was a couple hours afterwards, the link was suddenly privated. The video was suddenly privated, which is really no point privating it if you think only Keemstar had the link to your unlisted video. So clearly he looked at the Kiwi Farms thread and saw that I'd posted it, and then he deleted it afterwards. And I literally just posted a message afterwards going, thanks for confirming you're still here on Kiwi Farms, Boogie. So he knows me quite well, because I have been kind of joking around in the background a fair bit. But I don't deal with Boogie directly anymore ever since he banned me last time. Well, to be fair, ever since before he banned me last time, I have never engaged with Boogie again after that. I had that one conversation with him that one time where I was incredibly polite and civil to him, and he, at the end, even was complimenting me on being one of his better trolls, and then he banned me a week later, and I haven't had anything to do with him since then. I have no interest in having anything to do with him. Yep, exactly, TJ. He's the man who beat cancer, went on to destroy my life, as he said about Christopher Tom. But the thing I was going to say to Boogie after I mentioned these two events was to pretty much say to him, dude, don't talk about me. Don't try and draw attention to me. If you seriously talk about me and stuff like that, all you're going to do is get more eyes on me. And there's no point. I have no interest in talking to you. You have no interest in talking to me. So don't talk about me. Don't fester. Don't watch my content if it annoys you. Like, just do your thing over there, and I'll do my thing over here. That's always been my point of view. I don't cow tip. I don't milk the cow. I don't really try and go after lol cows and stuff like that. I've told him directly when he was the one telling me to try and find Dez's Twitter and go onto Dez's Twitter. I told him I have no interest in any of your personal relations. I have no interest in trying to contact Dez or any of your other girlfriends or anything. I don't care. That's not my business. I don't do that. I actually have ethics, which is why he then ended up complimenting me. But that's the only thing I'd ever say to Boogie. It's just ignore me. You know, that's the best thing you can do. Don't hyperfixate on me like you did with Frank. I'm not going to show up at your house or anything like that. I couldn't be arsed to get a plane ticket to America for something that stupid. But just ignore me. There's no point talking to me. There's no point bothering yourself about me. There's no point getting upset about me existing, because the more you get upset about me existing, the more people you tell I exist, and that's not a good thing for you. And in Boogie's defense, I am actually literally QAnon and also Donald Trump at the same time, guys, which you might not have realized, but I'm massively into American politics. Massively into American politics.
Disingenuous people flying a false flag, pretending to stand for something they don't, just to sow the seeds of chaos. And when you are toxic, when you
it sounds like you're talking about yourself there, Boogie.
choose to be righteously toxic, you are indistinguishable from the people who do not genuinely mean it, and it negatively serves your cause. And I've always felt that way, and that's one of the most controversial things I've ever said. And yes, it's something I'm working on in therapy right now. I am a chronic peacekeeper. After a lifetime of trying to be the peacekeeper in my household growing up, in my abusive home, I'm trying to be a peacekeeper on the internet now, and I know it's a futile effort, but I'm neurotically wired that.
We are 4 years later, and he is still saying the same thing about his time in therapy. He is currently, again, in therapy, still having the same argument, having the same points, and he just hasn't ever considered just not doing it, you know?
So there's not a lot I can do.
Yeah, that's the thing, TJ. That is the thing, TJ. I've always been this. I've always said this. With certain lolcows, just let them do their thing. Chantel, let Foodie Beauty go out and do her thing. No one bother her. No one bother her. No one talk to her. No one bother her. No one talk about her family. No one go after her family or anything like that. She will do something stupid herself, and the more comfortable she is, the more embarrassing she will be, you know, in general, because she will do something sillier or dumber, you know? And yes, Boogie is exactly like that. Just let Boogie do his thing, and when he says something stupid, go and have a look at the previous claims he's made and compare the two, and you can see how dumb he is. Or just listen to what he says, because it was something I was going to say. I was going to do like a trailer, like a wee trailer video for my channel or something like that, being like, why I like lolcows or why I'm into lolcows. And one of the things is just specifically, I like manipulators. I find them interesting. I like liars. I find them interesting, you know? Sorry, I had a burp there. So I like liars. I like manipulators because I think, you know, obviously you guys don't know me, and I don't want to do a Boogie here by going, you guys know I'm so genuine and honest. But like, if I fuck up, if I make a stupid call and it turns out to be incorrect, I will do that. Just like I claimed the MIA thing was going to be him going to hospital, doing a hospital arc, and it turned out he was actually at a wedding with no reception. I was like, okay, I'll eat my shit. You know, I made a totally wrong call there. I don't see a point in trying to hide it and being like, I'm actually a mastermind who knows everything about Boogie. I'm more than happy to be like, nah, nope, I totally misread that. I'm so dumb. You know? So I like to try and think I'm generally pretty open and honest. But I really like manipulators. I like liars. I like seeing them try and spin things, especially when it's ridiculous. Like Chantel Foodie Beauty right now. Her entire arc about the hijab and the potentially fake husband in Kuwait who's a Syrian refugee, but now in her stream, like I think it was earlier today or last night, she suddenly claimed, no, he's not a Syrian refugee. What are you talking about, guys? He's from Kuwait. And she's like, no, you literally said he's a Syrian refugee. What I meant was his family actually originally I think his family were from Syria maybe, Or like she was meant to move house like today. I think it was today she was meant to move house. And then like yesterday she suddenly got told she wasn't allowed to move or something like that. And her entire argument for like, look at me guys, I'm clearly not lying about this whole thing. I have nut salsa. Look guys, nut salsa. She's like holding up a tin of nut salsa at the camera being like, the homeowner when I was signing the lease gave me nut salsa. How else would I have this? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? How do you think this is evidence of anything? But she is so convinced that you guys should just believe her because she has nut salsa. And this is fascinating, seeing like narcissists who are like pathological liars randomly just making up stuff. And seeing how like badly they do, or seeing what weird lengths they go. Just like Boogie with the fake swattings and the fake car crash and everything like that. All that stuff, that's fascinating to me. That's really interesting to me. Especially when I go back and watch all his old content, you kind of see how he slowly forms into what he is now. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I've always said I want to do a documentary on Boogie, like a really in-depth documentary on Boogie, kind of like Mr. Snowflake's doing for Amberlyn Reid. I want to do like a step-by-step actual documentary on him. But the biggest problem is, because I have such strong opinions on his manipulation and stuff like that, I'm always worried it won't come across as neutral, and I want it to be neutral. I don't see a point in making a documentary if you have a slanted opinion. So I want to try and do it neutrally. So I give Boogie the benefit of the doubt when I think you can give him the benefit of the doubt when there's not actual evidence against it, where my personal feelings don't come into it. So we'll see. We'll see if I ever manage to do it. That's why I'm watching all of his content all over again, just to try and see how to do it. Isn't that the hallmark of every true lol cow, that in the end they are their own trolls? Exactly that, Sarah. The most interesting thing about a lot of lol cows is that they are so both full of self-confidence but so unself-aware, narcissistic, pathological lying. They really think super highly of themselves, but they actually don't. What's it called? It's like it's the opposite of like the imposter syndrome. I can't remember what it's called, but the imposter syndrome is like where you think you aren't as skilled at something. You think like, if you're like a doctor and you're sitting there going like, I don't know why people listen to me because I'm not really an expert in this. Even though you're like the smartest person in the room and the most expert person in the room, you're like, maybe I'm not right here. That's imposter syndrome. Lots of lol cows have the opposite of that, where they think they're all experts and geniuses and super smart and super good liars and super like they think everyone else is dumb and they can easily manipulate them. Like Chantel just going like, guys, I have nut salsa. How else could I have got nut salsa? And then, of course, because her trolls are kind of crazy sometimes, they worked out. Is that what it's called? The Dunning-Kruger effect? Grant. Thanks, CJ. Thanks, guys. I wasn't sure what it was called. But, then her trolls look back, and during one of her previous things 3 weeks ago, you saw her at a fucking stall at a Christmas market, like a Halloween market, where they sold the nut salsa. And people are like, you bought that 3 weeks ago. In your own vlog, you were at the stall where they were selling that 3 weeks ago. So and she's literally so convinced this random obscure thing she just had sitting in her car was clear evidence that she could just say to people, look, nut salsa, guys, and everyone would be like, oh, obviously she bought a house, guys, duh, she has nut salsa. And it's fascinating. I love that. Love that shit. That's so interesting to me. And Boogie's just king of that, because if you let Boogie talk for a week on Twitter, you will see 27 different opinions. You will see 27 different opinions. His begging video was kind of frustrating because Boogie really got what he wanted. He wanted attention and he got it. Just trying to follow the 72 different times he talked about it since then and how all of it's very slightly different. And he went from being like, guys, if you have $1, if you can't buy a t-shirt and you only have $1, you can super chat that to me. To 10 minutes later on Twitter being like, I literally never even ask people for money. What are you guys talking about? I literally never ask people for money. Then an hour later, he put up a video going like, guys, I literally said, I want you to just like and subscribe. And if you were a millionaire, I want you to maybe buy a t-shirt at most, but I only want you to get something. And it's just the video's still up, Boogie. The video is still up. Boogie Sex Change Saga when? I don't imagine so. He's never really struck me as being feminine in any way. So I don't imagine that's going to be something that will ever come up in his future.
about it.
You're getting better at it though.
I guess-
you're moving off the fence more. I've noticed in
Yeah,
your
I mean,
later
I've
uploads.
agreed to come here and defend myself. Most of the time, I wouldn't even bother defending myself. Most of the time, I'd just be like, well, let them think whatever they want to think about me. But I'm very frustrated at this point, having been what I consider to be an LGBTQ ally my entire life. And I have money, I've invested in a local gaming store and spend money frequently at a local gaming store that is a LGBTQ safe zone.
That's a really terrible argument. I do like his LGBT safe store thing that he always brings up, because the first time he talked about it, he said he had bought a gaming store and he part owned a gaming store. Him and someone, it was like halfers. Then he was like, well, no, I actually invested in it. And then it turned out he hadn't invested in it. He had just bought a whole pile of merchandise from them for retail, for like wholesale price. A whole bunch of magic cards at wholesale price, so he could later sell them on for full price. So he was literally making a profit off these people. But he always brings it up like, guys, look at me. I'm an ally. I invested in it. It's like, you bought magic cards. So, if I buy a hot dog in New York from someone who turns out to be like a black nationalist or a white nationalist, it doesn't mean I support their cause because I bought a hot dog from them. I want a hot dog. Like, it's such a bizarre claim. That's it. But picture of an NBA plate. A lot of times he would post he'll post like a hot dog and be like, oh, I can't eat all of that, guys. Or he'll post like a couple of chips on the plate, like, oh, couldn't finish that all, guys. Couldn't finish that all. Like, this is I was in response to very clearly mentally handicapped by not be able to afford to donate. Clearly, so I don't know. It's just something. It really is just something. The dieting thing's bizarre because he did kind of do what I guess he was going to do, the arc where I said he's going to do the hospital thing. Suddenly he's posting up about concerns for his health, and that's why he's lost a bunch of weight recently. And he did it in the most clickbaity, over the top way, which is like, they had to take me off testosterone, guys, and I'm really worried. So I came home and I Google searched my symptoms. I was like, wait, so you're in the doctor's talking to your doctor who decided to take you off testosterone because your red blood cell count was high, and you didn't ask him what it was. You decided to wait until you got home to Google search your symptoms to go with that instead. And he's like, oh, it could be really bad, guys. This could be the end. And it's like, why didn't you just ask your doctor? Because then he goes, oh, but it also could just be the flu, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And it's just like, fuck's sake. He's in the clickbait arc of his whole storyline now, trying to get more views, and I dislike that. I really dislike that. His body's finally breaking down. He seems healthy enough. That's the biggest thing about Boogie. He generally seems healthy enough. He doesn't seem overly frail. He can get up and move fine enough for someone his size. So I think Boogie's okay. Like, everyone says joking Boogie will die soon. Boogie's got easy another decade, in my opinion.
I bought product there so I can keep that store open when I can get it cheaper off of Amazon. I stood on the street corners of Fayetteville, Arkansas, trying to get same-sex marriage on the ballot in the state. And I don't know. I tried to be the best ally I can be. I get that I'm not a very good one. I get that I could do better. I aspire to be better.
But you can't even say that though. Here's the thing. What amazes me about human nature, how it's a crappy trait, is that a human being could do 1,000 good things. They trip up once. Everything good that has been done is wiped away, and everyone focuses on the negative thing, and no one ever forgets it.
Which is why if you see me, I will just I will just try to redeem every YouTuber. It doesn't matter, the Jake Pauls, the Logan Pauls, the all of these nasty.
I hate. Oh, that's awful. By the way, hey April, how are you? Member from the 50 week called a fitness guy for trying to help him. Was it even a Francis video? I thought it was like an actual video because I remember he talked about an H3 podcast. Yeah, he was ranting about it. What was I going to say there? He just said something there. Sorry, one sec.
I will just try to redeem every YouTuber. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, him trying to redeem YouTubers. I saw back when I was doing my, I think it was monetizing. No, it wasn't monetizing, or the tragedies one, because he pretty much talked about where if Logan Paul, after the filming the dead body in Japan thing, if he donated $250,000 to charity, Boogie would consider him totally squared away and totally even, and it's absolutely grand that he did that, and we should immediately forgive him because he donated to charity. Because Boogie has this idea, because you see him do it all the time, like after the Etika thing, he publicly donated money to charity, because in Boogie's head, well, I donated to charity, so we're even, right? We're square. You can't be upset at me anymore. So he claimed about if Logan Paul donated $250,000, and this is when Logan Paul was making $13 million a year, he was just like, that'll make him fine. It's like, dude's making $13 million a year. You're expecting him to give away like 4% of his annual income, and that'll be like absolutely fine, when he probably lost a lot more than that in like brand deals and stuff like that. But he was like, oh, well, $250,000, that sounds fine. It's like, if you give away his entire yearly paycheck, I would still call him a dickhead.
Jake Pauls, the Logan Pauls, the all of these nasty people on YouTube. I'll always try to hope that they can be redeemed, because that's how I was wired, right? Like, I want people to get better. I don't want to destroy. I want to create. I don't want to tear down. I want to build up. I want to help people who may be wrong about stuff or make stupid mistakes, and help them correct and help them become better allies and better people, and to do better things. But people are so afraid. People are so afraid. But again,
imagine you're doing the commentary of a gameplay and you include this, and you include your fucking controller disconnecting. Dude, that's not very professional. Maybe I'm not very professional, but still, from getting game margin on the ballot, I can't believe because he claimed he marched in a Black Lives Matter march, and I wasn't following him at the time, so maybe you guys know better than I do. Are there any pictures of him marching with Black Lives Matter? Because I'm sure he would have posted that all over Twitter if that was the case. His idea of him like standing to get gay marriage on the ballot, he probably walked past it or drove past it one day, and he just claimed that he did it. It's just like that time that kid who was dying of cancer wanted to play the new Smash Brothers before he died, and Boogie like retweeted it, and then when the kid got to play it, Boogie fucking put out a post being like, I'm so glad I helped that kid get that. And then people had to call him out. It's like, Boogie, you literally just fucking did a retweet. 200,000 other people retweeted it. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you taking like the praise for that kid getting to play Smash Brothers when you did nothing? Nothing. He did no more than anyone else. And he claimed, I helped that happen, guys. I helped that happen.
You and I have talked about this before, and we'll talk about it many times in the future. There are definitely people out there who would rather tear down than to build up, and that's fine.
What the other thing I want to discuss too is that what these vendors and sponsors don't realize, like, look, you don't want to work with me, you don't want to work with Boogie, you don't want to work with whoever, that's fine. But when they make things like what happened with you public, what it does is it actually strengthens the cause of your trolls and harassers and detractors, and
which is the last thing I wanted from any of this. I don't want to harm that company. I understand their point of view.
Well, that's not harming the company. Like, it potentially harms you in the long run, but it's not going to harm the company. Like them giving into your trolls, that'll make your trolls feel good, but it's not going to harm Wizards of the Coast in any way.
Wizards of the Coast, if you see this,
and he's never posted a picture of him. I thought not. The Boogie's the type of guy who was trying to like. He asked his fans on Twitter if it was okay if he went and fucking videoed at Uvalde right after the school shooting. So like, of course, he's not the type of guy who's gonna go and like march at a big rally and not take a photo of himself doing that.
Anybody at the company understands. I understand that this is going to guarantee, this new controversy is going to guarantee we never work together again. But I want you to know this was never my goal. This was never my design. All I ever wanted was to signal boost your company. All I ever wanted to do was get more people playing your games. Magic the Gathering has been one of the most diverse and loving communities I have ever enjoyed. People of every color, every nationality, every race, every sexuality, sitting down to play a game together. I have celebrated that. If you watch the video I made for Wizards of the Coast, I celebrated that in that video. That's the whole reason I loved Magic, because even though I was a fat, ugly,
see you later, okay, have a good one,
kid, that community welcomed me with open arms, and I wanted that for more of your players. I wanted that for Dungeons and Dragons. I don't understand how we've become so divisive that someone who said something stupid in a live stream is no longer allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons. There's no longer allowed to stream Magic the Gathering Arena when you were paying tens of thousands of.
I don't think they banned you from ever playing Dungeons. Like that's pure hyperbole there. Like that's a ridiculous claim. They have banned me from playing Dungeons and Dragons or ever playing Magic the Gathering. I don't think that's what happened there, Boogie. I think you're kind of exaggerating a wee bit. They literally said, because okay, when did that happen? Okay, when did that actually happen? That H3H3 event where Boogie said that, because I can't remember what time it was, what date it was. H3H3 Boogie, because I can't remember when it happened, and. Okay, so that happened June 19th. So it happened about 4 months beforehand. So, it was still a tense situation. It only happened about 4 months beforehand. Before he got banned from this thing. Like, him actually appearing on that podcast and saying that. So it's not like this is years later and like the people are still coming after him. It's still something that's still probably fairly raw. Especially because this is around the time with Anita Sarkeesian, wasn't it? This is around the time when he went on... This is like... it's weird how much he's leaving out here for like other issues the left would have with him, because this is not long after he made the comment on gay marriage. It's not long after he was involved in the BetterHelp scam. It's not long after he was on the Ralph Retort with what the left would consider neo-Nazis, joking around about Hitler and, you know, the good things came from the Holocaust, stuff like that. So this is kind of a really bad time for Boogie in general. So it's weird that he's really narrowed it down to just that one statement on a podcast 4 months ago. Because, like I said, I think it was September of 2018 when the BetterHelp thing happened, and he was on the kill stream talking with, you know, evil alt-right neo-Nazis. So it's weird that he's claiming it's just because of that podcast.
Dollars to other streamers to play your game, and I wanted to bring in an equal-sized audience for free. I volunteered to do it for free, and you turned me down. I was waiving tens of thousands of dollars to bring in 1,500, 2,000 people to watch me stream your game. And this is a company that instead gave streamer access to two of my friends. Go check them out, Big_Breakfast on YouTube. Two of my closest friends gave them access.
Oh, Big_Breakfast, the people he did his podcast with, which started around this time or just shortly afterwards?
Knowing that they frequently appear in my videos, knowing that we are friends, knowing full well that they only get about 15 or 20 people watching them every day. How do I not take that as a personal slight? I know it was one.
You're kind of burying your friends there. Well, they let these two fucking nobodies on. They let these fucking nobodies be in the D&D tournament, but they'd stopped me, Boogie2988. They stopped me from attending. That doesn't... Why would you say that about your friends? Why wouldn't you pick some, like, random nobody if you're going to try and do that, which still would include your friends? It would still be you shitting on your friends, but less directly. You're really just shitting on your friends there, being like, how dare they fucking take these guys, and they aren't taking me. Of course I'm going to be offended by that. So we see a Monogram on the podcast, and immediately said the Holocaust comment, and me and Medical wheeze and go, yeah, gotta look for those silver linings. TJ, it was beautiful. And yeah, the gameplay's boring. He picked like the worst part of Half-Life 2 to play whilst he's talking about this in the background. That whole podcast is fascinating. I already said I'm going to cover it at some point, but it's one I can't do on live stream because they drop a lot of colourful language. So it's one I'm going to have to record myself and then go through and edit out the colourful language, obviously. But I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's always been one of my favourite because it is just so clearly Boogie being Boogie and being very manipulative when he's dealing with a different audience and trying to play to that audience. You know, where he's coming out and he's trying to be like edgier, and he's getting called pretty hard on the whole BetterHelp thing, so he doesn't want to have to deal with the BetterHelp, you know, fiasco, and people criticize him for BetterHelp, so he tries to pivot it and talk about like how he's a furry who likes getting pegged to try and like divert the conversation away from BetterHelp, and it works. Like, it really works. He actually manipulates that crowd, and which includes Medicare, and I like Medicare a lot, but he manipulates Medicare because even Medicare's at the end going, oh, I really like this Boogie. He actively manipulates like everyone in that conversation, and he does it very well because he totally diverts the conversation. They all forget what they brought him on for and they're shitting on him for, and instead talk about him being a furry and then talk about like weird things he said where he paints it in his light, which is super favorable to him, and it gets them all to agree with him. It's like a masterclass of manipulation, and it's very interesting. So it is one I'd like to cover at some point.
It had to be. My friend Jacob from Big Breakfast is in every video I make for the last year. You know we're friends, and you included him on the streamer program, even though
he's not. That is factually incorrect.
Has a small audience. Now, don't get me wrong, he's an excellent streamer. You should follow him. You should go subscribe. They're very good at what they do, but they have a fraction of the audience I could have brought so many more eyes onto your game. Why wouldn't you let me do that and let me do it for free? I can't imagine.
Do they really need like extra eyes on D&D? It's not like D&D was a small product. You know, it's like, you should have let me come in there. I would have brought more eyes to D&D, you know, this small game no one's heard about before.
I'm sure it is the petty issues that you mentioned too, but I think now, especially with how much of an outcry there is against anyone who is any negative history with, is that as soon as there's any flack thrown at a company, even if it's like two people and there's a vocal minority, companies really cower quick now. I literally had, just to show you an example that ties into what's going on, I had a sponsor who I will not mention.
Yeah, TJ, you're 100% right. He just tries to play. It's so interesting seeing him on different people's podcasts. So, because I go out looking for podcasts, and he doesn't actually seem to have been on a huge amount of other people's shows, which is annoying because he probably really, really wants to. He probably really wants to come across in a good way, and that's why he doesn't like to be on other people's shows, because he doesn't have control there. So a lot of times people come on, they're usually coming onto his channel, but it's really interesting to watch Boogie dealing with other people, because he alters his opinions, he alters his personality. It's like if you watch him on like okay, we'll pull it up here. Sorry guys, we're totally waylaid. You guys watch my videos, you know I am a rambler. I can't really keep a straight head on me. I keep going off on random tangents, so get a deal with it, I guess. You know, this is just what I do, guys, and I hope you guys are used to it. So we'll watch him on the H3 podcast, okay? So this is the one from... This is,
weeks, yeah.
I love
this
that.
is the one from 4 years ago. You know, the one that happened. Mama D, did you win Fortnite? Chairs ask you.
Super excited.
But I went and watched Bo Burnham in a house of 1,400 people, right? And that's a big audience for Bo. Bo was excited. 1,400 people came out live to watch me.
That's a huge
So if
crowd
you've got
live.
20,000 people watching everything you do, congratulations, Wheezy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
By the way,
Okay, so he's chatting
everybody's
away,
talking about it.
smiling.
Man, I only bring good.
You have
vibes to the table.
CPA.
Yeah, I try to do the CPA deals every time.
That's interesting. I would.
Seems all
I would
good,
never
all good, all
choose to do that,
friendly,
'cause
Right.
all happy. Then his most recent one on H3.
To introduce you guys to MeUndies.
I don't want to hear about your own.
View a game on what planet? Well, then don't review it. Just talk about it. Okay, but that's
should take
still
the
a
money and
conflict
trash
of right. Well, I did that once.
Really?
I actually did that once with the Ubisoft game.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ubisoft.
So friendly, happy, smiley, all that malarkey. So let's see him on then the No Jumper podcast. Boogie 2988, because those are days apart. Those are literally days apart. But No Jumper
At that moment, Bo
is like
knew
a
that it was real.
cool separate guy. He's like a bit edgy, you know.
Say Northwest
He's a bit edgier. He's a bit more out there. He's a bit more chill guy than H3.
Arkansas, though, I moved there 25 years ago, and I believed when I moved there, I'd moved to the nicest place in the world. And now that I've been to
Listen
LA
to him
and
talk.
New York over and over and over again, and I've been to Orlando, and I've been to Tennessee, and I haven't been to Seattle and Portland, but I've been to Boulder, Colorado.
Listen
I
to him
know
talk.
I live in the nicest area.
Really?
It's like perfect.
I know, Dylan, I'm fucking terrible at this. I keep telling myself. But I really, you know, I have a good time in my streams. You know, that's why I just will do them off the cuff, because I'm like, well, I got to watch a bunch of boring shit. So we'll jump in, we'll do this shit instead and have a good time together. So yeah, listen to him talk here. You know? Listen to him talk on this podcast.
For my community, for my fans, they were going to probably do it anyway.
He's kind of got
but then I
got like a constant thing going on here where he's kind of talking just a wee bit lower, you know, a wee bit slower than he usually would be, you know, just kind of chatting away, chill, you know, kind of a low, chill voice. It's it's the same shirt because it's the same day. It's the same day that he did it, because this is broke before he went to VidCon in 2019. This is, you know, this is before I think it was before VidCon. It was before like something. He was out in LA for something, and he hit up the No Jumper podcast and H3 because he mentions doing them on the same day. You know, so this is so for me, I always thought this was really interesting. I thought this was very interesting because if you see him earlier the day or like later in the day, I can't remember which one came first. With H3, he's a lot more, hey guys, how you doing? Haha, you know, oh, yeah. But then when he's with No Jumper, who's like a really chill, laid back guy, Boogie's entire attitude changes. He's leaning back a wee bit. He's not leaning forwards on the table like he does with Ethan. He's like, yeah guys, how you doing? You know, he's talking a lot slower. You know, he's talking a lot slower, a lot more chill, a lot more cool dude kind of way. I think it's fascinating because it just shows how Boogie is very different on different live streams based on who he's talking to. Because you see him then on the kill stream, he's like joking about Nazis and stuff like that, and joking about being a furry and getting pegged up the arsehole, and he's having like arguments with people and stuff like that. When you see him on the Boulder podcast with Matt, he's like screaming at him and shouting at him, being very aggressive suddenly. You know, he changes constantly based on who he's trying to, you know, who he's with, who he's trying to play at the time, you know, everything like that. And he did a bunch of they weren't called podcasts back then, but he did a bunch of like interviews with other people back when he was like first starting out and starting to get big. And I remember one he did it with like two guys who were like, I don't know if they're like prank channel or something like that, but they're like, yeah, brah, hey, brah. And Boogie was like, yeah, brah, that's crazy, brah, yeah. And he was like a totally different person. He was trying to act like them on the podcast, and it was so weird to watch. This is back in like 2012 2011 kind of time. He was a totally different person from like one podcast where he was talking to a nerd and he was like kind of nerding out and just talking about nerdy stuff, and in this one he's like, yo bro, that's fucking sick, man. And he was trying to be like totally different. Absolutely fucking fascinating. That's why I said I'm just really into it. I'm just really interested in Boogie because he is so bizarre.
That they received one negative email, and I got a phone call from them at like 1 a.m. and they dropped me. They said, we're suspended. Like, why are you doing it? Because we got a negative email saying you did this and this. I'm like, oh, okay. Did you actually see if that actually happened? Because it didn't.
All right. Well, here's what I will tell you, and here's what I will say, and I hope their audience does this. Anybody that chooses to continue to support Rich moving forward, knowing that Rich may have
Yes, the chair. Unfortunately, I can never be short with anything. I'm a verbose man. I have many words to say, unfortunately.
made a couple of mistakes, but certainly a lot of this is blown out of proportion. No, and I've definitely made some stupid mistakes. If a sponsor chooses to work with either me or Rich, I hope you guys support that sponsor. I hope you guys support me and Rich through that, because those are people who have chosen to wade into this scary new world we have called 2018 and choose to be brave. And I hope that if you're interested in the product, you choose to support us through it, because thank God for those companies. Otherwise, I don't know what the world would look like. If every company in the world acted like Wizards of the Coast, we would have no advertisements, we'd have no sponsor money coming in, there would be nothing, because everyone would pull. Everyone would walk away, everyone would hide, and they would only give streamer codes to people who have only 20 to 30 streamers per
Because
stream.
Boogie is a human being. I'm a human being. We've said dumb things before. We will continue to do dumb things. I'm sure I will screw up probably tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to seeing what stupid shit I say on Twitter tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what terrible thing I say, because I'm sure I'm going to. Because
do you know what's bizarre with Boogie? Because I used to be a lot more of a Twitter. I can never say Twitter. I don't know why Twitter does not work with me at all. I just put him shitting like that seconds. Is that the sharding clip? The famous sharding clip? Apparently there's a new sharding clip. I only heard people talk about it. I haven't actually seen it, but apparently there's a new sharding clip. But I used to be more of a Twitter troll. You know, I like to joke around with people and wind people up and stuff like that. That was more towards the start of the year. Probably when I was in hospital. A lot of times, so I just kind of chill and would just kind of like joke around, a bit more of a troll. Nowadays I'm not really, because occasionally I will type stuff up, and I'm a lot more aware that I have like a bunch of people following me, and I'm like, I don't want to be fucking around. I don't want to spam people's timeline with me being a dickhead and joking around, being a fucking idiot. Like, so I was like, I'm just gonna calm down on that, and if I really want to, I've got like another Twitter account I could do it on, but I don't care enough to change Twitter account or take out my phone, because my phone has my other Twitter account on it. I'm just like I'm not going to. I just decide not to. It just seems so weird to me that Boogie just can't do that. Boogie can't like rage type a message or something like that and be like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. No, I'm just going to ignore this person. But he just doesn't seem to have that in him. And he always says, well, it's because I'm a peacekeeper, guys. I was growing up to be a peacekeeper. It's like, how are you saying MAGA Republicans want to put everyone in concentration camps, and if you're a MAGA Republican, unfollow me because I hate you and you should die? How is that being a peacekeeper? How is that like, oh, I had to wade into this situation because I had to be a peacekeeper, you know? I wouldn't see him shirt in the house, but the fact he does, well, that's true. Yeah, I don't mind if he wears a shirt, but he pretty much claims I'm too fat to wear shirts, and I can't be arsed because I don't take TikTok seriously enough. So I just don't put on a shirt. It's weird.
I'm a 44-year-old man who's lived his entire life. The world seems so different to me today than it did when I was growing up. When I was your age, I'm not your age, but their age, Rich. It's such a different world. But I will tell you, my grandfather once said to me, he said, in a moment of frustration, he said something very racist, which I will not repeat. And he slammed down his remote control and he said, "You sometimes don't even recognize the world anymore." And then he stopped himself and he thought for a second. He goes, "Maybe that's a good thing. And maybe that is a good thing. Maybe it is a good thing that I don't understand the world. That the world is a little more progressive." But I got to tell you.
Oh no! Do you know what I hate about my memory? Because my memory is dog shit in general. I remember things very well, but I don't remember the context. This annoys me. I heard Boogie tell this story recently, and I fucking hope it was on a live stream and one of you guys can help me out. Boogie told this story recently about having a racist grandfather who said, oh my god, where is it? It must be on one of his streams. I'm getting out my notes. 1 wee second here. I'm getting out my notes. Fuck's sake. Sorry, I'm busy. Damn it! Can't find it. Shit! That's gonna annoy the fuck out of me. I heard Boogie tell this story in the past couple of days. I heard Boogie tell this story about his grandfather saying something incredibly racist, and Boogie made the claim that as a 10-year-old, he remembered hearing his grandfather say this and then say, I don't even recognize the world anymore. And Boogie claimed, me as a 10-year-old, I remember thinking, isn't that a good thing though, grandfather? Isn't it a good thing that you don't recognize the world? It means we're moving forwards. And I remember typing a fucking note somewhere somewhere on this fucking computer, I remember typing in a note, this is absolute nonsense. Why he's like making himself into like a 10-year-old prodigy who's like thinking like 17 steps ahead. He's like, but grandfather, it is such a good thing that the world has changed. And now he just told that fucking story again, and now it's his grandfather is the one who said, oh, maybe it's a good thing I don't recognize the world anymore. Boom. Shut up, Wanderlust. Shut up, Wanderlust. Get banned. Mods ban that man. Oh, I'm gonna have to. No, after the stream, I'm gonna have to sit there and I'm gonna have to look that up because that's great. It's not gonna be useful immediately. It's gonna be useful if I do the documentary or something like that, because I take notes on fucking everything, and that's what annoys me that it's not here. It must have been on. Oh, actually, 1 second. Where are you? Oh. Uno momento, my friends. Uno momento, my friends. Oh. Sorry, guys. You're just gonna have to sit there and just listen to pure silence here. I'm gonna try and be as quick as I can, guys. I don't like you sitting here. I don't like dead air or anything like that, and I don't really like just kind of rambling to fill space whilst you're all just sitting there waiting. But I think I found this here.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube?
Okay.
32988 coming at you.
Shut up. Where is it here? See, this is why I say I write down everything. I write down everything, which makes it somewhat
and then he
slower.
complains about money. I'm like, that's because you paid 50.
Okay, well this hasn't downloaded fucking correctly. This has not downloaded correctly. Fuck's sake! 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. I'm not even looking at chat, so you could all be sitting there calling me a dickhead for going quiet on you. I'm gonna have a look. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Was that it? Does he do it again? I've never watched that one. Does he actually do it again? TJ, oh god, no, this is the one I'm talking about here. I'm gonna pull it up because the one I've downloaded didn't download correctly. Here we go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And the worst part about it, he's playing humans. He's got like a modern bill. You paid. I don't understand you kids. Here's what I will say.
Here we go.
I get myself in a lot of trouble. Those of you who don't know me too well, you don't follow me on Twitter.
Shut up, Wanderlust. You are going to get banned.
Twitter's just a place where I commit some form of self-harm most days. But I will say, where I really, the disconnect is in my age, right? Like a lot of the times, I was taught high school 40 years ago. I mean, I started school 40 years ago. I was in high school 30 years ago.
Oh, God, hurry up,
Boogie.
Boogie.
Stuff that they teach now is very different from what we taught then. American values, whatever, the whole Christopher Columbus thing, all kinds of stuff. Stuff that I need to get educated on, things that I'm learning. So I will say that most of the time the disconnect comes from I'm tremendously old. And you're starting to feel it at 28. Jacob, you're 28 as well? 27?
Yeah,
right,
28.
So you guys are starting to feel it. But once you're 40, the world is, and at the pace the world has changed in my lifetime, it's so bizarre. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I'm confused all the time. I say something that I was taught in high school, turns out to be wrong. I feel like an idiot. But someone once said to me a long time ago, I was sitting with my grandfather.
Here it is.
And my grandfather set down the remote and said something horrible, horribly racist, which I won't repeat here. But he says, man, sometimes I don't even recognize the world anymore. And I thought to myself, even at that young age, I was probably 10 or 12, I thought to myself, isn't that a good thing? Right? Like if the world changes progressively for
this is
the
a
better
month
so
later.
much that an old man like me doesn't recognize it, doesn't understand you whippersnappers' values, that's probably a good thing, right? I should be confused by now. And if I'm not, then the world hasn't.
Okay, so this is like November 2018. This is like that was the 23rd. This video is that's the 23rd. This is literally 20 days later. It's literally, hey Lisa Bear, how are you? This is literally like 20 days later. And it's one thing I've noticed with Boogie a lot. He tells the same story a lot. He tells the same story a lot in a short period of time. And because he's so bad at faking stories, he mixes up the stories. So you said, TJ, 4 minutes 20 into this one. Because I got this other one up too. Because we're this is how I got into Boogie, guys. See, I went to Boogie's School of Live Streaming. What, dead air and awkwardness?
And he used his clicker to flip all the way through the television, got back to the beginning, flipped through them a second time,
You need to fix your
turned
lighting,
it off,
bro.
and slammed the remote down out of frustration. So, Daddy Carl, what's the problem? He says, I pay for all 13 channels. and every single damn one of them either has a Jewish person or a black person on it. And he did not use the polite words that I just used. He loved to use derogatory racial terms all the time, the N-word being his favorite. And I feel like when my presence was around, he was excited to use it, found any excuse to use it, which is weird because the guy was really conservative. In fact, he would record movies from the television, but he wouldn't record the HBO version. He would record the Turner Broadcasting System version because in his mind, those movies were better. I remember one day he put a VCR tape in to watch Death Wish with Pierce Bronson, and he had the TV.
It's Charles Bronson, isn't it? I'm not wrong there, am I? He said, did he think it was 007 Pierce Brosnan? It's Charles Bronson.
I said, Daddy Carl, wasn't the movie just on HBO? He says, yeah, but this version's better. They took out all the swearing and all the cursing and all the blood and guts and all the nudity. That's the point of Death Wish, by the way. If you've never seen that movie, the entire point is how bloody, gory, and offensive it is. As a little side note, that man was fascinated with his VCR. He had a huge collection of like 1,000 tapes where he just taped
TJ, before I go into the rest of this, does he talk about the... I'm sure
everything
he does. We'll get to it.
that he loved. All of his favorite old movies growing up, he had them on a VHS tape, and he watched them. He didn't buy them.
Okay, Lisa Barrett, we found a really interesting thing, and I kind of went full autism on it. We're watching Boogie talk about being banned from the Magic the Gathering, from a Dungeons & Dragons tournament. So I was just talking about that because of the possible Magic 30 thing that was happening right now. During this interview with Rich from Review Tech USA back in October 2018, he told a story about how his granddad said, I don't even recognize the world anymore. And his granddad's an evil racist. But his granddad suddenly was like, but maybe that's a good thing. And I had suddenly remembered that not long ago I was watching his Big Stack podcast with these guys, and he had told that grandfather story. However, he told it and he said, oh, my grandfather said he doesn't even recognize the world anymore. And me as a 10-year-old, I thought, but grandfather, that surely is a good thing. And I was just like, fuck, that doesn't match. And then TJ came forward and said he fucking talked about it again. He loses track of the story. He does that, TJ? Who else does that? I can't think of anyone else who could possibly get distracted and go off and just ramble about fucking nonsense. Well, I'll save it anyway, TJ. I'm going to watch this. After the stream. That is fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy with that. See, guys, this is a learning experience. We're all doing it together. This is how I get into it. This is what see how pumped I am, guys? This is what gets me pumped. Seeing this stuff. I'm at work, drop off the face of the earth at random, enjoy the stream. No problem at all. Simple wonderlust. The problem is, like I said, you're going to get banned. So, too bad. You're going to come back and you're going to be banned. I'm going to make sure you can't actually watch the VOD for this. I'm going to delete the VOD just so you can't watch it. Have a good time at work, mate. But yeah, see, this is why I get pumped. I love liars. I love manipulators. I think this is fascinating. So when I find out that he has directly contradicted himself, boom. ADC weird tangents here? Yeah, Mama Day, that's me. I'm kind of all over the place, honestly. But yeah, so I find that fascinating. Find that absolutely fascinating, and I'm super excited when shit like that happens, because this is a kind of mosaic I kind of weave together about what Boogie's like as a person, where he'll randomly tell one story and then he'll change it to be about him instead. Because like you're sitting there going, okay, well what is it? Maybe the grandfather thing's real, but then you're like, well, you're sitting in this other video where you're talking about how evilly racist your grandfather is. Why are you suddenly talking about him in a good light here suddenly? That he was like, oh, but maybe he recognizes that the world is a better place now just because he doesn't recognize it. But then why would you then change that story into you being a 10-year-old who has like the forethought to be like, wow, the world is a different place, and that's certainly a good thing because it's progress. Fascinating. Sorry. We'll finish this video. I'm so sorry, guys.
Stuff like companies like Wizards of the Coast folding to 10 people, to 20 people.
That's all it takes.
If that's all it takes, then I don't think that's a better world. I think that's a far worse one. You know, I'm all for progress. I'm all for progression. That doesn't seem like progress to me. That seems like regression to me.
It is. It absolutely is. And that's why I wanted...
That's the thing, Slip and Jimmy. One of my favorite quotes, because I used it early on in one of my videos, is the Judge Judy quote. If you have a good, what is it? It's like, if you have a good memory... No, if you always tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. That's what Judge Judy always said when she was... Because I used to love Judge Judy. I used to love Judge Judy. It was so fantastic. But she always used to say, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. And I always find it so fascinating. The same as him talking about his dead dad deserving better, even though he was mean to him. I know so little about Boogie's dad, because even in the earlier stuff, he barely talks about his dad. He barely talks about his dad. He'll talk about his mom constantly and how evil and abusive his mom was for so long, but he never really talks about his dad, even though his dad died when he was still very young, and he would then claim that his dad was an alcoholic and he barely ever spoke to him, and he was pretty much catatonic the entire time, or he was like had a stroke or something like that, so he could barely react or move or anything like that, and he was pretty much just like a lump sitting in a chair. But then he'd tell stories about how they went fishing together and stuff like that, and his dad taught him porn, and also it kind of all contradicts. So I don't really know nearly as much about his dad, and I would like to learn as I go through it. I really think that'd be interesting to see why he is so weirdly obsessed with his mom and not at all interested in his dad. Which, honestly, if he did say that his dad was the one who sexually abused him, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him for being, not wanting to discuss his dad whatsoever, if what he said about his dad is true. So I actually would understand that from Boogie's point of view entirely. Then he says he jacks his dad off. That he claimed that his dad got him to masturbate him. So listen, if that is the case and that's actually what happened, then I understand that. I do understand that. That he wouldn't want to talk about his dad that much. But I always find it weird that he talks about his mom so much. He talks about his mom so much, despite her abuse apparently being longer and more violent. But he won't talk about his dad at all. So I find it unusual, and I don't want to. Not a doctor, can't psychoanalyze anything like that, but it's so interesting, his relationship with women and his relationship with sex, and he seems so obsessed with his mother and not at all his father. So I'm just curious. The whole thing's interesting to me. Like I said, I'm into Boogie because I find it interesting, not because I hate him or anything like that. I've said a billion times I don't hate Boogie. I don't particularly like him, but I don't hate him. I don't hate anyone. I don't have time for hate in my life. I'm a very chill guy, but I find this shit fascinating, guys.
You want it's these companies, they don't realize beyond, it's not even from the financial perspective. Fine, yes, it sucks to miss out on money. Who doesn't want to have extra money? But they don't realize how it damages you as a human being, and it damages your brand.
And can you imagine how difficult it is for me to still, right here, I'm literally sorting Magic cards as we're talking. I opened these Magic cards on my stream last night. I cubed with my friends Saturday. The company that makes the game I have spent $100,000 on. The company that makes a game I am obsessed with and have played weekly, if not daily, for 25 years, hates me. The damage that does to me as a person is devastating. Every time I pick up these cards, I feel that negative association.
Because it's not just a product to you, because it's been such a huge part of your life. You identify part of that with you as a person.
Every friend I have in this world, my roommate, my best friend of 25 years, every friend that comes over to my house on Saturday night, I met them over a game of Magic the Gathering.
Wow.
Yep. And that company despises me, wrecks me as a person, ruins me as a person.
That's what I said earlier on. Why would you keep obsessing over the company? Why would you try and become a Magic the Gathering streamer? Why would you do Whatnot? Okay, Whatnot streams makes sense, to be fair. You're trying to make money by selling the cards. 100% I get that. But why do you still do draws on your Twitch and your YouTube? Why do you open Magic cards? If a company like I loved hated me, I certainly wouldn't give them the time and attention. I certainly would not give them the time and attention. But it's so weird that he really does. But like I said, if he has a super close connection to the game, I do kind of understand it. But it seems so weird to me. It just seems weird to me that if a company hates you and has slandered you in this way, that he's still super like him. He never done nothing wrong to me, so I don't hate him. I love watching stream back in the day. He croaks. You'll take a poop in his honor. that is such a good way to remind him. Remind him. Jesus Christ, I am fucking tired. I don't really know, because someone came into my comment section a while ago, and said, "What are you gonna do if he kills himself?" To me, and directed at me, if that happened, it's my fault. And I was just like, dude, what? I literally said, because he's like, you're diminishing his mental health. What happens if he kills himself because of you? And I'm just like, dude, are you diminishing his mental health by claiming that this guy who has claimed to be suicidal for basically 47 years straight, 48 now, for basically 48 years straight has claimed to be suicidal, and you're trying to say it is my fault, the guy who's appeared, I think I had 300 subs at the time. As the guy who's appeared and has been doing this has made videos for 2 months, 5 videos at most at that point. And you're trying to blame me if he kills himself. I have nothing to do with Boogie. I have nothing to do with Boogie's mental health. All I'm doing is talking about him. I have nothing to do with his mental health. That is insanity. if Boogie kills himself, I'm going to assume it's to do with the 48 years of unresolved issues or his just general himness. It's not on me. You know, I just find it such a weird opinion for someone to have, especially when I was so small, like so ridiculously small.
And they threw you under the bus over something so frivolous. It's unreal. Well, Boogie, thank you for coming on and clarifying that. And I'm hoping that beyond this situation, which I'm glad you got to air out, that it'll make other venues and sponsors. Look, I'm not saying don't look into Boogie or into me or another person that you're looking to endorse, but to succumb to a small group of people and to make it a public thing that ends up humiliating the person or hurting the person, and not even from a financial perspective, put that aside, is just very...
Yeah, weaponizing mental health. Honestly, I kind of had told myself, and I'm not sure if I would go through with it, because honestly, out of the two of us, the one most likely to start a conversation with the other one now is Boogie, him starting a conversation with me, because Boogie's DMs aren't open. I have no interest in talking to him, so I can't see myself ever starting a conversation with him, but I already have it in my head that if a conversation ever started between the two of us, it would be Boogie obviously starting the engagement, because my DMs are open, his aren't. And I honestly immediately told myself, it's like, I think I'd probably just block him if he tried to start a conversation with me. Because I imagine if he tried to have a conversation with me, the first thing he'd try and do is manipulate me. And the other thing he'd try and do is to pretty much allude to being suicidal and making it my fault and my issue, which I have no interest in partaking in. Just like he did with Eye of Soul and stuff like that when he had that long talk with them. So I have no interest in doing that. So honestly, if he started the conversation with me and I thought he was heading that way, I'd just block him. I'd just block him and be like, nope, I'm not playing this game. Boogie, I'm not going to play this game with you.
Detrimental, and it has to stop. In 2018, with social media, misinformation and slander and things like that spread very quickly, and companies just need to stop overreacting in a second and take a step back and look into it more.
And I will be the first person to say, please allow me to say, I'm the first person to say that I have said and done some stupid stuff, but I think if you ever do the deep dive, you'll understand that I am not a bad person, that I have good intentions, that I want good things for that community, for my community, for your community, for everyone involved, specifically the millions of people that have watched me on YouTube. I want them to have happy, healthy, good lives. I may not agree with how you guys do it. I may not agree with the methodology. Sometimes I may not even agree with the exact message, and I know they're going to take that out of context, but here's what I do agree with. I do agree with live and let people survive, let people be the person that they want to be. I don't care if you're not harming another person, and I don't think there's anything harmful about the LGBT community. I don't think there's anything harmful about even wrong thing. If somebody thinks poorly about something, if someone thinks something controversial, think whatever you want. What I do care about is actions. And if you choose to bully people on the internet, regardless of your political affiliation, I think you aren't a very good person. I choose to never bully. I can't imagine bullying anybody. I can't even...
Where did that come from? Out of all this conversation, where did being a bully on the internet suddenly come from? That is so incredibly out of left field. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? That came out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck? I don't know, maybe it's because I'm tired, but I went cross-eyed hearing that, what the fuck?
Imagine the mindset it takes. I can't imagine what it takes to try to take away from somebody or tear somebody down. I can't imagine it. And so at the end of the day, if you don't want to work with me because I have a live and let live philosophy, that it doesn't matter whether you're straight, gay, white, black, whatever your sexual orientation, nationality, race of origin, I don't care. I don't care. I just want you to have a happy, healthy life. If that makes me too controversial to work with, then ship me, man, and move on to somebody else. But I honestly don't know why it would.
If that makes you too controversial to work with, and the people that think you're too controversial do that, shouldn't sponsor anybody then.
Yeah, right? Because I mean, who hasn't in their lifetime? Who has in their lifetime made a stupid mistake?
No, nobody. But these sponsors and vendors want.
I've never made a stupid mistake. I say that. I say that as someone who probably has made many stupid mistakes already on my live stream in my short few month career of doing YouTube stuff. Career is a massive exaggeration. Holy shit. Yeah, so that was an interesting video. I think we're pretty much done with that. That was interesting. Let's finish up with the quartering, I think, because I'm curious what his point of view is. I don't like listening to him, unfortunately, but is number 2 going to be his internet trolls or me specifically? Billy's on the internet. Yeah, internet trolls. There you go. Oh, Christ. Let's finish this boy off. Go.
With the quartering. And I want to take a moment to address what happened to Boogie this weekend. He was fired from a job he didn't even accept, apparently. And there's a real reason behind it.
Apparently.
I think
even he doesn't believe him.
I would normally have put this video on Unsleeved Media, which is kind of my more gaming channel. It also covers Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. But I think it's important that people hear, more people hear it. And, well, this channel's just larger. For those of you that don't know, Boogie and I's, our paths have crossed many times in the past. Sometimes good. In fact, I used to actually sponsor his channel.
This is 1.5 times speed. Holy shit, quartering. Ugh.
Sometimes bad when we had a little spat about, I don't know, some SJW thing that neither one of us cares about anymore. So to be clear, Boogie and I are good. We have been working together or knowing each other for many, many years. We both promoted Magic the Gathering for a long time. And this past weekend, a company called RPG Sports announced that Boogie would be appearing on a charity live stream.
This is a message to the people who work for Blizzard Entertainment, specifically the Diablo 3 crew. I was going to make a video today because I didn't think anybody would see it. I thought everybody would be out playing Diablo 3, and I thought I would be playing Diablo 3, you'd be playing Diablo 3, but nobody's fucking playing Diablo 3! Because you got the servers down, and every time I try to log in, I get fucking error 37, I keep trying to log in, and I get error 37, error 30.
I'm so glad we got to listen to this. I'm so glad we got to listen to this hilarious joke.
37, why the fuck is it 37? What the fuck are the other 36? Shouldn't this be error number 1? Error number 1, I can't log the fuck in!
Interesting enough. Welcome Boogie as the first player of Team Beholder. In RPG Sports, Boogie makes incredible gaming content alongside hilarious rants, sketches, and insightful advice. Maybe if we're lucky, Francis will make an appearance too. This was supposedly for a charity livestream, and of course, this tweet has been...
Yeah, Mama, that's really the thing. Is just don't, just don't interact with internet trolls. It just there's no point drawing attention to them. Like the ones in my chat, like in my comment section, I don't mind engaging with them, like, because it's only a couple, and I don't really mind engaging with them because I have a good time doing it, and I know my limit, and when I get bored, I just stop responding to them. Boogie doesn't have that, Boogie doesn't have that. He's more upset. Was this low quality Francis video? You can tell he wrote that himself. Yeah, because it was just him screaming error 37 over and over and over again, pretty much.
Yeeted, because the hate mob came out. Now, if you're not familiar with Boogie, well, I'm not going to give you the history of him in general, but he does have a habit of putting his foot in his mouth at times. We all do. Not going to hate on the guy for that. This summer, he was on H3's podcast and had said something along the lines of, hey, when you force stuff on people, bad things happen. In all of my public and private conversations with Boogie, he has never once, in public or private, to me, said anything negative about the gay community.
Is going on.
The man is
Jeez,
not
sorry. Sorry. I was still looking in the background. He is fucking boring. Oh, I don't know if I can. I think I'm done, guys. I think I'm done watching this. I think I'm done watching this. Courting is so fucking boring. He is so ungodly fucking boring. Are we at 2 times speed yet? No, we're at 1.75. I don't even think 2 times speed will help it. He is so fucking boring. But I found that video I was talking about earlier on, and I am so happy. I found the Warski exposing Magic the Gathering pedophiles video that I talked about earlier on, and I'm so happy. It's such a good video. It's like 2.5 hours long or something like that, but it's genuinely such a funny video. It's up on BitChute, so I'm going to download that now just to make sure I have a copy of that going forwards. But yes, guys, I think we are kind of done. Hello, Doug. I feel bad. I know you said we're done, and Doug just shows up, and I kind of ruined it. Fuck it, yeah, Cherry, you kind of need it. Like, let's listen on 2 times to see if he's even any way bearable.
Any of these words that people like to label, generally, his association with not strongly enough disavowed.
Holy shit. He is unbearable. Like, genuinely, you could do him at 3 times speed. Genuinely, you could do him at 3 times speed. He is. It's not even like he's saying anything of value. Christ almighty, that is bad. That's so bad. But yes, guys, I really wish I could. I wonder if the highlight's still up. Because I want to show the highlights one quickly for the Warski exposing pedophile things. No. Doesn't look like it's here anymore. That's very unfortunate. But like I said, I'm more than happy because I have the actual official full video now, and the full video is hilarious. I highly recommend it, guys. It's on BitChute, Andy Warski live exposing Magic the Gathering pedophiles, featuring Mr. Medicare and the Quartering. Very, very funny. The whole stream is very funny because he started off kind of serious because it has Rags in it as well, and I like Rags from EFAP fame. It starts off pretty serious with him talking just about the actual general issue for it. I have not yet seen the Bill Burr interview. I actually still need to watch the 2 of them. You told me I still have to watch them. I've been too busy doing all this stuff and getting ready for my monthly recap with Boogie, which I'm hoping to have out. I'm hoping to have out in time. We will obviously see, but I'm hoping to have that out. As long as Boogie hasn't like put up any more, doesn't do a live stream right at the end of the night, hopefully I should have that out for the first. So what's that, Monday night, is it? No, Tuesday night. So hopefully on Tuesday night I should have that up. I was thinking about doing was it called a premiere? I was thinking about doing a premiere because then I could play it and say like, oh, it's going to be live at this time, and then I can be chat. We can kind of talk about it, joke back and forth. I don't know if anyone's interested in that. But we might do it. I don't know. But yes, guys, I sort of feel bad for many of the bad guy comedies, sort of rely on the fact that 2015 era SJWs hated them and railed against them, and so much so they became actually kind of bland otherwise. Pretty much, yeah, that thing. It's the same thing that happened with Mundy and Matt, who I'm sure is one of the major guys you're talking about, TJ. When Mundy and Matt lost a big, scary boogeyman, you know, he pointed like, Zoe Quinn, look at her, she's evil, she's trying to censor me and take me down. Once he lost that, he had nothing. And then that's when people started turning their sights on him and going after him then, which you see all the time in drama communities, to be fair. Like, eventually once they like run out of... See, Doug, if I'm being honest with you, I am actually not excited for the Boogie recap. I'm genuinely not excited for the Boogie recap for this month, which is unfortunate because usually I quite like them and I'm generally quite excited. But his live streams this month were more annoying than anything else. They were more annoying than anything else. They weren't particularly funny in a lot of ways, but they were more annoying. And then a lot of it feels like wrap-up and catch-up. Oh, yeah, I can't wait for the big Halloween video. I can't wait. To be fair, even if he releases that on Halloween night, even if he releases on 31st, it is still going to be pretty short because it's a Francis video, so that'll be easy. Because like my entire review of the Francis videos so far this month is... where I have it written up here somewhere. It is literally just to say something like... He did 2 this month and a short, and they're all unfunny and all shit, and I have no interest in them whatsoever. However, he did say Charlie Day, more like Charlie Gay, and that's pretty much it. that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I have listed here. No, 3 this month, because I forgot. He had the Fat Weird Man Wars one as well. Fat Weird Bearded Man Wars one. Yes. Okay. What else I gotta say? Oh yeah, but yeah, for the October recap, a lot of it is... Like, he had 3 streams, which are generally unfunny and not really enjoyable in a lot of ways. They're just irritating. And then the rest of it, because he didn't really do anything interesting on TikTok. His Whatnot streams aren't overly interesting, apart from him punching Sammy in the head. Which, well, I guess I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but... Oh, is it?
And the third guy says...
Oh.
Guys, I think I fucked up.
Oh, yep. Yes, you did, Boogie. Yes, you did. So I told myself I wasn't going to play that, but well, I kind of had to. He says, none for me, lol cars are called lol cars, not because of their size, but they're milk for views. Yeah, because you milk them for views. Lol cars don't specifically have to be fat. However, there definitely must be some form of correlation between being fat and being, like, that level fat, like death fat level of fat, and being, like, so unaware of everything and so in up your own arse that you then become a lol cow. He even stands up for the video. He's taking bets. He must TJ, because he stands up for a bunch of his Francis videos. But like, yeah, apart from the live streams, which are 3 long live streams, and none of them, because at least he usually does 2 live streams. Usually there's one on Twitch, which is really dumb and irritating, and he just talks a lot of nonsense about stuff he knows nothing about, and it's a lot of eye rolling from me. And then he does like a Magic the Gathering open one, but he didn't do a Magic the Gathering opening one, which he probably will do, I think, in the next day or 2, because he always does at least one on YouTube, because he always does one on YouTube and one on Twitch, because he means he can keep his memberships rolling for an extra month. But he hasn't done one on YouTube this month, so I'm assuming he's still going to do one maybe in the next day or 2, or he'll do it right at the start of next month, which he did, last time. Says in just the voice. Yeah, but I meant for his big events, like his My Way video and all, he generally gets up for those ones, like him versus the Scalper and stuff. But apart from these 3 live streams, which are all Twitch live streams, which are all him talking about shit he doesn't know anything about, with a lot of long karaoke segments and stuff like that. Like, which are just because he, you know, him like, oh, that guy who watches all my videos, he has to see my naked tits. Yeah, I can just imagine his face. That's not when I pull a face. I pull a face when he does his like karaoke, because he always does the same 2 or 3 songs every stream. And it's just like, and it's literally his like fans are like children. You know, when you like the Teletubbies come out and do the, you know, Teletubby song, and all the kids are like, yay, Teletubby song. That's what his fans do. They're all like, can we do Ride the Mouse? Can we do Ride the Mouse? And then he does Ride the Mouse, and then they go like, oh, that was good. I like Ride the Mouse. Can we do Creep? Can we do Francis Sings Creep? And he's like, okay, we'll do Francis Does Creep. And they're like, yay. He does it every fucking live stream. Every live stream, and it's like he's performing for children. And it's not enjoyable. It's just plainly not enjoyable. Nothing on TikTok. His Whatnot streams aren't overly interesting this month. There's a couple of things. Are you going to karaoke? I might sing along with him at some point, honestly, because I will be so broken by this over and over again. I might just join in with him at some point. What else did he do? And then his YouTube videos. A lot of his YouTube videos are not interesting. The Fat Watch videos are all boring. They're all boring, and there's 4 of them this month. Francis videos, I don't intend to cover at all. I Need Your Help. I already covered that in a separate video, so it feels, because he had a couple big bangers this month, like I Need Your Help, YouTube's Killing Content Creators. I already reacted to those. And I reacted to the whole McJuggernuggets Jesse drama, which is covered then again in another Keemstar show appearance by Boogie and Grimm, and also Grimm's 30-minute long special. The I Need Your Help thing is kind of is infused into lots of different things. So a lot of the stuff this month is either going to be talking about the 3 live streams, which are not particularly fun, or talking about catch-up stuff for stuff I've already talked about this month, but it's just, well, you know, I already talked about this, where he said, you know, he wants your money, but then on the 17th he says he doesn't want the money, but then on the 18th he confirms he actually does want the money, and then the 19th he said he never actually said that, the trolls just made him say that. So like a lot of it is just catching up with what I've already said, so it's not, for me it's not as interesting, honestly, which is kind of unfortunate, but oh well. Shit happens, guys. Generally I've enjoyed these up till now, but this is probably going to be my least favorite month forward, mainly because of the amount of live streams that are just him sitting there. And like, if he did like gameplay live streams like his fans are constantly asking for, a lot of his fans are like, can you just play video games please on live stream, maybe live stream a wee bit more? And he's like, nah, don't want to. I'd rather just sit here for like exactly an hour and a half every single time and just play old Francis videos for you guys and sing 3 or 4 songs, which takes up 15-20 minutes every time, and then I'm going to make you watch a Francis video, and then I'm going to talk about some political thing that I have no idea what it's about, but I'm just going to randomly just talk about it because fuck it, why not? It's a bandwagon thing. And then some of the stuff he talked about, like the Adam Sessler G4 TV thing, he talked about that on live stream in full, so I literally had to watch that like 3 times. I literally had to watch that 3 times this month. But yes, guys, I am getting tired now. It is heading towards 2 a.m. We've been doing this for just over 2 hours. I've had a good time, everyone. But I think it is probably about time that we wrap this up. So unless there's anything else you guys can think of, anything else you want to ask me or want to watch, I think it is probably about time that I creep off here, because the doggo still needs to walk as well, or she won't let me sleep, and then I'll get away then. He can't do his Francis voice anymore? No, he can't. I wish I could do a better Francis voice, because I would do a Francis voice as a joke, because I had this idea. I know I said I was going to go, but I said I was going to soft voices creep me out. Whose soft voice is mine or Boogie's? I am so. I was like, fuck it, did I do a soft voice? Oh yeah, his soft voice. His soft voice does creep me out, to be fair. Says that you need to sleep, man. I'm generally okay. But I thought of an idea that I was going to do. I was going to do a typical Francis or Boogie stream or something like that. I was just going to like mimic what watching a normal Boogie stream is like, and I was going to do like I was going to pretend to be Boogie and just like do my voiceover over his or something like that in it. So I was kind of tempted to do it, but I can't do a good Francis voice, and I can't really do a good Boogie voice either, because I couldn't do his accent in any way. No walking the dog and coming back and doing a video. Probably not. Maybe not. No, there's nothing right now that's really caught me for making a video on, so no. Yes, I just want to give a wee shout out then to my patrons at the end. I might as well do that. I'm not sure if any of them still here, but I'll give them a wee shout out anyway. That is Eswank Haley, Samuel P, Jack Toez, Mr. Payne. I am just saying, an absolutely massive thank you so much for donating to my Patreon, guys. You are funding my next bottle of Jameson's for whenever I next decide to do a drinking stream. But yes, guys, I think that is us for the night. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all for donating everything. Thank you for the super chats. Been a fun time. I think we've all enjoyed ourselves. I think we're all having a good night here. And I think it's about time everyone else goes and enjoys the rest of their Halloween. And I'm going to creep off and probably honestly, I'm probably going to go to bed listening to this. Like I said, if you haven't watched this, Andy Warski Live exposing MTG pedophiles featuring Mr. Medicare and the Quartering on BitChute. Very funny stream. Very funny stream. The first bit of it's a bit serious where they talk about the actual issue. But then once Mr. Medicare stirs the pot and gets people to start tweeting at Hasbro, it's hilarious. It is so funny as they just read through all the tweets that are totally ruining Andy Warski's entire career. So funny. I wish I had cash to help out one of these times to do it. Nope, don't worry. No one needs to donate to me. None of my I am more than happy with any support I get. You guys are outstanding as is. I don't need people donating money to me especially if they're struggling in any way. Save your money. People should only donate if they really want to and they have the money to spare. None of my content's ever going to be behind a paywall or anything like that. The Patreon is literally just a nice wee thumbs up thing people can do for me, if they really want to. But yes, guys. That's us for the stream. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. And bye-bye.